What is up? Happy Valentine's Day. We're going to work with the voice that I have. It's not much, but I just went ahead and cut some of my hair off like while the tick 30, 29, 28. I just was like, I literally just cut my own hair during 30 seconds. If you don't believe me, there's hair on my hoodie. Happy Valentine's Day, bitches. I'm doing this for y'all. This is a live and it'll be for 24 hours. We are going to talk about very important cases. Jennifer Drake, I'm about to call her on the phone. Idaho 4, Delphi, Karen Reed. Who else I want to talk about? Chris Watts. I'm going to release some never seen before videos with my phone calls with Chris Watts. Who else? Sheldon Jeter Jr., Alcoa, Pennsylvania. He's got a hearing coming up in April. Shanna Gardner. Let's see. We're going to talk about swingers. Who else? Hello, welcome. Again, happy Valentine's Day. We're going to be talking about it all. 24 straight hours. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to try it. I've done it before. We're going to see what happens. So welcome, and let's buckle up, buckle in. Here we go. Welcome to the main event. There's a pop-up video. Pop-up video. Pop-up video. Guess what, guys? At one point, I had 40,000 subs, and this is what I did for y'all. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. This is the Ride or Die Live. Either you guys rode me because you supported me, or you guys started to channel off of my fucking back, baby. That's impressive. Oh shit, man, you're kind of funny, man. I'm here for it though. I am fucking here for it. Again, I want to say thank you to all the mods, all of my mods. They make that chat. Every night you come in the chat and you feel welcomed and you feel supported and you feel safe. It is not my doing. I mean, it's my instructions, but they're the ones, guys. They make it what it is. Thank you to all the mods, the real OGs, and my new mods. Thank you. Oh, new mods. $40K, my journey to $40K. Honestly, I don't even know where to begin because I never, ever, ever wanted a YouTube channel. This was a fluke because people defamed my nonprofit, Fight for a Family, forcing me out here on the YouTube streets to promote myself and the nonprofit to say I am not who these fucking idiots say I am. These fucking nobodies, man. But you want to know who I am? My channel name, Truth and Transparency, is who I am. I will go to bat for you. Whatever the facts are, whatever the evidence says, that is what I support. Everybody in here and out there has rights, and we the people, if you wrong one man or you wrong one woman, you wrong us all. Vanessa Walsh. 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 Vanessa. All right. right, guys. As a 3,000 person channel back when I started in 2021. Let's see, Chris Watts, his mom, his dad, his sister on the phone with me and said, "Hey, what can you do about this channel Unmask defaming us?" I said, "Channel? What are you talking about? They're over here talking about YouTube." I'm like, "Fucking YouTube. Who the fuck cares about YouTube? Why are you paying attention to what somebody on YouTube says?" 2021. Yeah, I said, "Okay, well, we'll bury them. We'll bury them. We'll bury them with the truth." And boy, God, did we. Truth. Vanessa Walsh. 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 Vanessa Walsh's. Vanessa Walsh. 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 Vanessa.
All right, you take a seat. Let me grab my notebook.
This was Brandon Wexler's interview that I found for the Schellinger Jr. case to show that they had fucked with this dude's testimony. So that was that back in 2021. I found that when I was doing the Rachel Del Tondo Schellinger Jr. case. Check that out. 24 hours. Wow. Let's see what else we got here. Let's start off with a bang. So then somehow I came across this case called the Idaho 4. The Idaho 4, what's that? Idaho 4. Idaho 4. Idaho 4. Idaho 4.
Parents, grandparents, and teachers have reported Hooked on Phonics success stories. With intensive, systematic phonics, these children learned important skills used in reading. Surprisingly, many schools do not effectively teach intensive, systematic phonics. So if your child's struggling or starting out in reading...
Live now from Fox, I do want to get to some breaking news that we are following at this hour here. Brian Kohberger, the criminology PhD student accused of the home invasion murders of 4 University of Idaho undergrads, has now been indicted by a grand jury. That is according to officials there in the county where all of this did play out. The superseding indictment means the accused quadruple murderer will not have a chance to attack the evidence used to arrest him at a preliminary hearing that had been scheduled for the week of June 26th. We have talked a lot about that over the last several months here. A new arraignment has now been set for this coming Monday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. local time. That should be noon Eastern time. It also spares the 2 surviving housemates and other potential witnesses from having to testify under cross-examination prior to that trial.
Because you're very humble.
I am. I am truly just an average girl.
So let's go back. We're going to start, right from the beginning, how your story kind of started, like where you are today. So you were diagnosed with some medical issues and, you're trying to figure out why, where'd you get these? So tell us how it all started.
I was diagnosed in 2018 with medullary thyroid cancer, which is a genetic form of cancer. I'm hopeless, essentially. And so I started an online group for people who had also gotten unexpected results, mainly as a support group. And I found there was a great need for people to, looking for help with their own DNA problems, and those that were adopted, donor conceived, or they got the same results that I got. And so I turned my depression into a purpose, and I started helping adoptees and those with unknown parentage.
That's incredible. I mean, and what a shock. I mean, what a shock. You just had a baby. You've got 3 other kids. You're diagnosed with cancer. And what a shock. The last thing you expect. And
Yeah.
it kind of defines your life now. I mean, it's you've taken that and you've kind of gone with, what is it? You've gone with the skid. You turned in with the skid,
Well, I've had no choice. And unfortunately, it seems to be that in 2018 in particular, people, being in, we call an NPE, you had a non-paternal event or non-parental event, or not expected, parent, it became almost a phenomenon in that period of time, and that there were so many people that were getting results, and their mothers are saying, no, I was a church going nun, and you're like, no, you were doing the priest, because
how you catch a criminal if you don't even know what you're looking for.
This morning, Stephen Gonzalez shared.
Just tells me statistically I'm gonna have to do more work myself. I'm not going to sit here and just be a crybaby dad.
We're definitely making progress. We're putting the pieces together. And I think when that picture is done, I think we'll have a real clear definition of what occurred and where to go.
What is up, guys? Let's see. We did a little bit of Joe Cannon here. Let's see what happens. At approximately 10:53 a.m., Detective Grimshaw arrived at 711 South 9th Street, where he was met by Officer Gaddis, the responding officer to the original call. Grimshaw met with Francis Murphy. Grimshaw spoke briefly with Francis Murphy at the scene, in his squad car, in front of the residence. Francis Murphy advised Grimshaw that apparently the night before, on a Friday night, at about 4:45 p.m., he, Francis, Scott Snyder, and Orly went to the auction at the auction barn on Agency Street. And at about 6 p.m., Francis told Grimshaw that he left, and Orly and Scott stayed at the auction. He stated he left to go meet Mary Lou Capps to play bingo at St. John's Church. And he left playing bingo at approximately 9:45 p.m. that night.
Hello, you have a call at no expense to you from an inmate at Anamosa State Penitentiary in Anamosa, Iowa. You must listen to this entire message before entering a selection. To accept this call, press 9.
Before arriving to residence 711 South 9th Street, Detective Grimshaw was advised by Captain Stewart and Detective Cassidy that there was a victim, 89-year-old Caucasian male, Orly Culp, that had been beaten apparently with a baseball bat. He was then rushed to the hospital. Francis Murphy indicated that morning he had went to Hardee's and picked up a sandwich and then drove over to Orly Culp's residence. When he had got to the front of the residence, he noticed that Orly was not standing out.
Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. Everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
This episode was dedicated to Nancy S.
Are you talking up by Sunset, Mark?
Anymore. But this is a special tribute. So let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to be revealing a 13-minute phone call that I had with Chris when I was in Longmont, Colorado, doing some work. It's actually a year to right around this date. I went there. I'm sorry, it's been 3 years. So I went there in 2021 February. Left on the 17th or 18th of February. Met up with Chris's dad in downtown Denver, and I was there I had set up appointments to meet with different attorneys for what they were going to be pursuing, and I supported their pursuit in the efforts to obtain representation for themselves as well as representation for their son for efforts towards a 35C, which is a post-conviction litigation. And Cindy and Ronnie wanted to know more about their grandchildren and what had transpired, and I supported that. Cindy and Ronnie Watts were victims, same as Jamie Watts, victims in the situation and in this incident, horrible incident. And I believe they got lost in the shuffle where the district attorney only focused, the other side for those of them.
So in case you guys don't know this, what that means is that I supported the fact that Ronnie Watts, Cindy Watts, the mother of Chris Watts, and then his sister, they were like, we have so many unanswered questions, and Chris wanted to appeal shit because he was saying that another person was present there. So listen to this.
That were victims. With that said, to freshen everybody's memories here on Chris Watts, here is Chris Watts being interviewed raw by ABC Denver, and this is what he had to say. And then I will be getting into my never released phone call with Chris Watts while I was in Longmont, tracing down the 360 life app, all the data that pertains to Nicole Atkinson during the investigation.
Chris Watts, WATTS.
What's going on right now around your house?
Right now, you got K9 units, the sheriff's department. Everybody's like they're doing their best right now to figure out if they can get a scent, see where they went. They went on foot, they went in a car, they went somewhere. And right now, it's just like they've been on point. They're going through the house trying to get a scent, and hopefully they can pick something up to where it's going to lead to something.
What happened?
She came home from the airport 2 a.m. and I left around 5:15. She was still here, and about 12:10 in that afternoon.
In jail, but then Netflix would come out, and Netflix is in jail, and while he's in jail, obviously he has his public defenders, and so you have half of August, September, October, and in October he takes this where he's just going to plead guilty to everything, and that's going to be it. Then in November, right before Thanksgiving, the prosecutor's office, the DA, they release what you would consider dump discoveries due to FOIA requests. And so all of the public was able to get hands on these papers. Now I'm gonna show you guys something really quick. Share screen. So what I went ahead and did is I took all of these, police supplemental reports. I took all of them with the help of my homegirl, and I put all of them actual date, the report date of when they did whatever it says that they did. Okay, and I put them in a different. This was like the police binder, you have the CBI binder, you have the FBI binder. So I went ahead and organized everything after November of 2018, and I never looked at it again. After I went ahead and looked at it. But then Netflix would come out, and Netflix came out, and they gave some information that I was like, what the fuck? That's not what was said. And, that got me to bring out my fucking shit again, my binders. During this time, and up until that time, the person that I knew who was using my phone to be in contact with the family, had always maintained the innocence of that Chris never harmed the children. Okay. And I said, how can you be so sure? Blah, blah. Has he ever said that to you? And that was always what was relayed to me and through the family as well, that Chris never hurt his kids and that he just took this plea deal so that he could, it would be done with. He didn't want to put his family through anything, yada, yada, yada. Then it would be the release of the Netflix. Then I went ahead and saw Netflix, saw something that caught my attention, which was not what was in the discovery. They released the opposite phone, which then gave me more of the discovery that I didn't have. And so I was able to connect some dots that I didn't have before. And so then I went ahead and released never had a YouTube channel. I just went ahead and released some of my stuff on a Facebook. I did Facebook Lives just to get out my stuff. And I put some stuff out there on a Facebook group called, what was it called? Accused. fucking what a fucking abortion that shit is. I tell people don't join Facebook groups. I mean it.
Right there, guys. First part of tonight's live is about don't join Facebook groups. I joined the first ever Facebook group in my whole entire life, like ever. It was the accused Chris Watts accused killer group. All right. And my friend Kendra, I hate you for this because I'm over here signing up under my own name, right? Like it's just me. I thought we were all just gonna like talk about this case. No, bitches, these are some real life trolls. Like they fucking go real life on you. They are fucking whack motherfuckers. Like no shit. Like these people have fake like 7 accounts per one person. You know, you think you're talking to like, I don't know, Jamie Smith. No, bitch, you are talking to Roberta McQueen. Dude, worst experience of my life ever joining a Facebook group to do with a murder case. It's like soccer moms on steroids. Stay the fuck away from it. So I put this out, told everybody, I was like, dude, the last thing you ever want to do is join a Facebook group. When I see the Idaho 4 case come out and I'm like, oh my God, all these Facebook groups are like, oh, and Ashley Banfield's having these fucking channels. Okay. These channel moderators join her live broadcast. I'm like, oh my God, how is this happening? You are talking to live, legit soccer moms on steroids. Whoa. Please. Dude, fucking sick shit. Like I'm talking like they try to like befriend you. And then they have this like other like semi-universe over here. Oh my God, I just befriended this girl that knows like all this stuff. And then like I'm going to act like I'm going to be her friend and I'm going to give you all this information. Whack shit. Like these are broads that their husbands are like fucking hate them, cheat on them, are always working, don't have time for them. And these broads need to occupy their time. So like, oh, I'm just going to listen to fucking YouTube all day. But I'm like, I wasn't even on YouTube. Oh, I'm just going to join these Facebook groups. That's these broads. Psychopaths. Because let me tell you something. The moment that you aren't friends with them, they try to ruin your life. They will call fucking CPS on you. They will, like legit, I had a broad call CPS on me. And I'm like, what does CPS even stand for? You know what I mean? Dude, wild shit. I had girls sending me nudes. It was insanity.
Don't join Facebook groups. Now, what I'm about to show you guys is that I went ahead and started revealing all the work that I put into it, which was to show that nothing made any sense in terms of the timeline of things. When you want to throw in Primrose, when you want to throw in the interviews with people.
So all I cared about the Chris Watts case was my work. And I said, wow, whatever they released in this data dump, they totally did a narrative. And I'm like, this is wild shit. Wild. I was like, no, this is bullshit. So anyways, moving on. My experience with fucking crazy people. Like, hello, welcome to fucking La La Land. No, for real.
Like they used that. They were like, you know, we're going to go, you know, sit down telling.
Oh, here, hold on.
And his fucking wifey who started getting disease back. It would go back on the table, but let me explain something. See, I was honest. How you get false confessions, how you get people to plead is you threaten them with the death penalty. That's what the DA will always do, and that's how they get people to say, okay, I don't want to, okay, I'll do, okay, I'll sign, I'll just sign. So these lawyers know that Rourke did that. That is a customary thing that they will do to you. And then he said so phone call, and I've never played this before because I wasn't gonna I don't want to deal with the fucking Colorado fucking people because they're ridiculous. Absolutely, they work ass motherfucking backwards. All right. They gave a woman a restraining order and they didn't meet any of the criteria to even get the restraining order in place for a temporary restraining order.
All hearsay.
Then they motherfucking deleted their own fucking record. They deleted the own record. This fucking magistrate of 35 years decided she was going to delete 4 fucking minutes of the official record, give me a different copy than she gave somebody else. That's a motherfucking crime. And it's called obstruction of justice. At the very...
Oh, you guys always ask about the 2 discs. There was 2 discs. Remember in my intro? Here's a piece of history right here. So when I decided to reveal all of this Chris Watts shit, there was this little fucking channel called Unmasked. And they were like, oh my God, this broad's going to take us down. She found out that we've been lying to all of our fucking members and subscribers. Because I was just like, I can't believe that people believe these lies. Like, what? Like, if you have receipts, you just like show them. Like, I'm like, wow, they're just lying to people. And they're getting paid for it on YouTube. Like, I was just blown away. And so I had the family reach out to me and they're like, hey, we're being defamed by this channel. Okay. And they said, what they say? Oh, I said, oh, we'll bury them. Or I said, like, I'll bury them. Like, we'll bury them. These motherfuckers tried to tell the courts that I was going to kill them because I said I was going to bury them. So fucking A. This is all over the goddamn Chris Watts shit. These lying ass fucking channels that I was calling out, like, you lying ass motherfuckers. Ready? So this is me saying, these fucking hoes.
Very basis. Boom. Now, again, I don't care anymore. This shit, don't care. The lies, though, and what people have said about this, that, and the other, y'all don't know fucking shit. And y'all are listening to these fucking chump channels that don't know shit because they don't talk to this person, they don't talk to that person. This is a recorded phone call. Literally, I am in motherfucking Longmont, Colorado on February 20th talking to this man. Well, I am literally tracking down Nicole Atkinson's Life 360 app, which makes no sense on what she said she did that day.
Okay, so this is what's crazy. So I'm over here talking about, I'm in Colorado, literally dealing with a family, like Chris Watts' dad. We fly all out there. I set up meetings. I got them, the attorney Jane Fisher, one of the best in the business. And this broad from this channel says that I flew out to Colorado because I was stalking her. I said, bitch, I don't even know you. Shit you not. She took this shit to a magistrate. To a magistrate. To a magistrate. I said, wait, what? I don't even know who this person is. Come to find out, all those little yappers on Facebook, because I wouldn't be friends with them. It wouldn't be like, yeah, you could be my bestie for lifey. The moment that you turn your back on Facebook people, they're like, okay. They just run out there and be like, let's fucking ruin this broad. This is no joke. This is like the shit I dealt with in 2021. Over this fucking Chris Watts shit. Over me just saying these broads are lying. Over Chris Watts calling me saying these broads are lying. I was like, motherfucker, you kill people. I don't give a fuck.
Now, people that are putting it out there that Chris Watts didn't move forward because of a piece of ass that he was tapping on the internet and blah, blah, blah. I personally think Chris Watts 100% has been 100% fucked with. Now, do I think he's a fucking... I don't know. But all you people out there that say that Nicole Atkins or Nicole Cassinger has something to do with it, then maybe y'all should listen to what this motherfucker says. Okay? Because y'all think that she did something, then maybe you should listen to what he has to say, which is that they are hardcore pressing on the fact that if you try to reverse this and go to trial and go to court in any capacity, that you're going to be facing the death penalty. So that's what you should maybe think about. And he's saying it right here on a live recording. Then maybe I should send a fucking DA Rorick and his fucking wifey who that started a goddamn podcast and went after Plunder, who actually bust her fucking ass. Fuck you, bitches. Plunder didn't do shit, and y'all fucking tried to go after her with a copyright strike. Fuck you.
Yeah, Paula's amazing. Plunder's amazing.
Get fucked. Yeah. All you lying ass bitches and anything that you lie about, fuck all y'all motherfuckers. Unmasked, you don't even have a fucking channel anymore. You are so fucking defunct motherfuck shit, and you made your shit off of NK being so fucking involved. Do something about it.
Let's see you. You can't do shit about shit because you don't know shit. You know why you don't know shit? Because all of your fucking sources are shit. Y'all lie. You lied about everything to do with the Watts case. Fuck y'all. Is this man innocent? By God, no, he's not innocent. He fucking said he killed his wife, God damn it. Okay? And then he said he transported and moved the bodies and put them in goddamn oil tanks. Is this man fucking innocent? No. But did he kill his kids? He's saying he did.
Okay, right there. There is proof. All you motherfuckers out there in Boston. Oh my God, how can you ever support Lana in the Karen Reed case? I never said Chris Watts was motherfucking innocent. This is me showing proof because I'm getting into my Karen Reed part of my life tonight. 24 hours. I'm starting off with Karen Reed. But I was defamed up in Canton. I was defamed up in that fucking piece. So this is me saying, y'all motherfuckers have lost your minds. They're listening to these little fucking anorexic motherfucking Skeletors. What the fuck? There it is, right there. Oh, Turtle Boy, you can't talk to Lana. You know what she thinks? She thinks Chris Watts is innocent. Are you fucking insane? I never fucking said Chris Watts was innocent. It's right here. Go check the date. Run it back, y'all. I said, oh my God, who is running these lies? Who's telling Turtle Boy? I'm over here supporting the fuck out of Turtle Boy, and I'll always support the truth. I don't care if they support me or not. I just support the truth. But I do think that Turtle Boy supports me. I'm like, damn. I said, shit. I said, who's, oh, that's right. I said, I know who's spreading the rumors. The Glare, because Allie Erickson was sending me her titties, and the Glare wanted to bang Alex Erickson, and it was an old big titty up affair up in this motherfucker. And I was labeled a predator because hoes be sending me nudes. Oh my God, that's the facts. Here are the facts. So now can we talk about Karen Reed? Here we go.
Y'all don't know fucking shit. And y'all are listening to these fucking chump channels that don't know shit because they don't talk to this person, they don't talk to that person. This is a recorded phone call. Literally, I am in motherfucking Longmont, Colorado on February 20th talking to this man. Well, I am literally tracking down Nicole Atkinson's Life 360 app, which makes no sense on what she said she did that day. Now, people that are putting it out there that Chris Watts didn't move forward because of a piece of ass that he was tapping on the internet and blah, blah, blah. I personally think Chris Watts 100% has been 100% fucked with. Now, do I think he's a fucking, I don't know. But all you people out there that say that Nicole Kessinger has something to do with it, then maybe y'all should listen to what this motherfucker says. Okay? Because y'all think that she did something, then maybe you should listen to what he has to say, which is that they are hardcore pressing on the fact that if you try to reverse this and go to trial and go to court in any capacity, that you're going to be facing the death penalty. So that's what you should maybe think about. And he's saying it right here on a live recording. Then maybe I should send a fucking D.A. Rourke and his fucking wifey poo that started a goddamn podcast and went after Plunder, who actually bust her fucking ass. Fuck you, bitches. Plunder didn't do.
So I put this out right after the whole Plunder put something out, and it was about D.A. Rourke's wife doing a podcast, okay, and had D.A. Rourke on. And Plunder put it out there, and then she got so much hate, and I was like, fuck all that shit. I was like, how are you hating on Plunder? Dude, Paula brings receipts. I bring receipts. I don't fucking talk about shit unless I have fucking receipts. We work our ass off over here, okay? I will never suck no dick and lick no clits. Fuck all that shit. We work hard. When I see something that, hey, it is what it is, I speak on the subject. I don't speak on, oh, it's because of that person. Oh, fuck that person. Dude, that is so closed-minded because of, oh no, I don't like her, so I can't support her mission. That is so fucked. Okay? Beyond fucked. Point of the matter is that when you feel the threat of what? Oh God. What? Somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing? Yeah, that's what I feel over there. But guess what? I knew all this shit, and guess who got in a car, drove to an airport, got in a plane, and flew to fucking Canton? When I knew that everybody in Canton during the Karen Reed case was trying to say, oh, don't watch Lana and don't follow Lana because she said all this stuff about, she thinks Chris Watts is innocent, motherfucking shit. That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie. 100% a lie. And I'm playing it right now to show you that it's a lie. I've never said that Chris Watts was innocent. Ever. Ever. Never said he was innocent. But I get it. Run with that shit.
Do shit, and y'all fucking tried to go after her with a copyright strike. Fuck you.
Yeah, Paul is amazing.
Yeah, get fucked.
Get
all you lying ass bitches and anything that you lie about. Fuck all y'all motherfuckers. En masse, you don't even have a fucking channel anymore. You are so fucking defunct motherfucker shit, and you made your shit off of NK being so fucking involved. Do something about it. Let's see you.
Right there. En masse, so defunct. Oh, I told you I came here for one reason, to bury that ass. I had a 1,000-person channel and I buried that 100K channel. How is that possible, Anna? Well, because I just showed that they lied the whole way to all of their subscribers. Okay, you did, girl. Okay. Them's the facts. Well, guess what, though? It came with a price, y'all. Because when I showed the facts about their stupid fucking channel, they came from me and my fucking kids' relationship. Can you believe that? That's why when I reached out to Turtle Boy and I said, I know what it's like when someone comes for you in your child's relationship. I saw it happening and I was like, oh my God, this is deja vu for me. Like, holy shit. Legit everything that Turtle Boy has gone through with that crazy ass fake victim, no joke, is everything that I went through with the Sheldon Jeter Jr. case. They tried to put, they were calling the feds on me. They were calling the attorney general on me. They were calling my ex-wife. They were calling, you name it, the local police here, local police where they lived. They were trying to get me in cuffs so that I would lose my child. Been there, done that, right?
You can't do shit about shit because you don't know shit. You know why you don't know shit? Because all of your fucking sources are shit. Y'all lied. You lied about everything to do with the Watts case. Fuck y'all. Is this man innocent? By God, no, he's not innocent. He fucking said he killed his wife, God damn it. Okay? And then he said he transported and moved the bodies and put them in goddamn oil tanks. Is this man fucking innocent? No. But did he kill his kids? He's saying he didn't. Maybe people should look into it. So you want some truth, you want some transparency, come right here. I support the fact that his sister had nothing to do with this, his mom nor his dad. They were victims. And that fucking piranha-ass channel that is run by a goddamn midget and a fucking cheating ass hoe and her husband's fucking spreading everybody and then coming home and bringing the disease back. That's all I got to say about that. I love it. Y'all are pathetic.
Pathetic. Pathetic. This was 11 months ago. I went to take a look at when I posted this because I felt some type of way when Paula got struck by D.A. Rourke. I felt some type of way. I was like, fuck all that shit. How is Paula getting struck by D.A. Rourke's wife? I felt some type of way.
I did what y'all couldn't do. I did it in a month and a half. Literally in a month and a half.
Yep, sure did.
And that's why I was just...
And I was just like, they already got the full extent of the charges and everything that they asked for. The only thing that was missing was the death penalty, but it's not even part of Colorado law anymore.
Well, I just want you to know something. I want to be told something separate. But because your case technically was before they abolished the death penalty here, it would go back on the table. But let me explain something. See, I was honest. Said, how you get false confessions, how you get people to plead, is you threaten them with the death penalty. That's what the DA will always do, and that's how they get people to say, okay, I don't want to, okay, I'll do. Is run by a goddamn midget and a fucking cheating ass hoe, and her husband's fucking spreading everybody, and then coming home and bringing the disease back. That's all I gotta say about that. I love it. Y'all are pathetic. Let's continue. I did what y'all couldn't do. I did it in a month and a half. Literally in a month and a half. So and that's what I was just
back to the table again. And I was just like, they already got the full extent The only thing that was missing was the death penalty, but it's not even part of Colorado law anymore.
Well, I just want you to know something. I was trying to be told something separate, but because your case technically was before they abolished the death penalty here, it would go back on the table. But let me explain something.
See, I was honest.
How you get false confessions, how you get people to plead, is you threaten them with the death penalty. That's what the DA will always do, and that's how they get people to say, okay, I don't want to, okay, I'll do, okay, I'll sign, I'll just sign. So these lawyers know that Rourke did that. That is a customary thing that they will do to you, but it's also like nobody wants to take on a capital case because it's so much burden of proof on the prosecution.
Ooh.
So like all I'm saying is you just, the most important thing to know with that is don't let them bully with you with that, because that's what they did the first time. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they used that. They were like, we're going to go, it's the death penalty.
All calls other than properly placed, attorney calls may be monitored and recorded.
Attorney calls. Maybe.
Yeah, that comes on every time.
Yeah.
Attorney calls. What?
Yeah, no, actually that's what like both, like the two main people that your dad's, considering, which we're leaning way more towards the other, the one of the two, but Chris,
What's left on this? 4 minutes. They let us know at 4 minutes that this could be recorded. When Chris Watts is talking, they listening, and I'm over there telling them, hey, just so you know, your case was when the death penalty was around, so I'll debate this case with anybody, anywhere, anyhow.
Oh, fuck yeah. You want to talk about the Chris Watts case? I will lay you timeline for timeline. These people, I guess people are talking about the Chris Watts case again, and I'm like, what are you all talking about? Like, I've forgot more than you will ever know about that case. So what can I help you with? Serious question. As more social media platforms do away with censorship, how will this impact bullying, doxing? Is it going to be a free-for-all, or will there be any protection? No idea. Don't give a fuck. Bash away. Bully away. Defame me. I got a problem. That's how I feel about that shit. Now, if you're talking about little kids, I think the parent should just duke it out. You want to bully my kid, I'm going to beat the fuck out of your parent. How do you not know your parent? How do you not know if you're a parent that your kid's a fucking bully? Like, you see your fucking kid, like, do you not hang around with your kid? How do you not know that they're a bully? Sorry, was that the question? You like that, Holly? All right. Karen Reed, let's talk about it. You guys, woo! Karen Reed. You guys, let me just tell you. The Karen Reed case has taken on so many fucking baby fucking pacifier sucking motherfuckers. I've kept my mouth shut. I've sat back and I've literally watched. People are like, Lana, why aren't you talking about the Karen Reed case? I was like, there's nothing to talk about. You want me to talk about the little man babies that are fighting with each other? Come on now. I'll talk about the Karen Reed case all day, but I'm not going to talk about all this other crazy ass shit. I do have a question for Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy, how chapped is your dick from everybody wanting to suck it? Not like the females. I'm talking about like the poachers in life, There's some people out there that literally have Turtle Boy to literally think that they have a job. Okay. Where they could pay their bills because they were definitely not relevant on YouTube. So I just want to know how chapped and chafed Turtle Boy's dick is from all the just like, dude, I'll ride you, no fucking lube. What do I got to do? Then I see that LTL is just giving all of his money to fucking Karen Reed's defense team. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how bad do you need to buy a date? It's Valentine's Day. Somebody donate for the boy and say, I will pay for your dinner with Karen Reed. That's what I see over there. Now, when I talk about the facts, I see, oh my God, I can't believe that Karen Reed would do an interview with Ted Daniels and not do one with Turtle Boy. Oh, but contraire. I said, I think Turtle Boy has the series locked up, right? There ain't no way that Karen Reed's giving anybody but Turtle Boy the series. They're totally going to be doing a series, okay? Turtle Boy is the reason that Karen Reed's case is known. And anybody out there that's going to say anything different is a goddamn liar. Period. So without Turtle Boy, Karen Reed's case is as big as think about Shanna Gardner. Nobody's even talking about the Shanna Gardner case, and she has Jose Baez as her attorney. Jose Baez is repping Shanna Gardner in a murder for hire in Jacksonville Beach, and nobody is talking about it. But I bet you if there was a Turtle Boy person in Jacksonville Beach hyping that shit up, getting it out there, being local, getting people out there, Jose Baez had his own press conference on the steps to call out the corruption in Jacksonville Beach. We were in town for a week for the Karen Reed trial. We literally threw, as Holly will tell you, the best tailgate sidebar. Okay. I didn't go up to Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy came over to where we were and said, hey, I wanted to come over here and check out what you had going on. And I was like, that's why I dig you, dude. Because I would have done the same thing if he would have come to my town. I would have been like, hey, I heard you were in town. Hey, what's up? You know, I will go drink for drink, pound for pound, titty for fucking pasty, hang out with Turtle Boy all day, every day. I think he's real. I think he is who he is. I think what you see is what you get. And it could be dangerous when you want to talk about a lawyer saying, oh God, hey, maybe he needs to tame it down, or da-da-da, or hey, God, don't say that. Don't say that. You know, hey, blah, blah, you know, but man, best tailgate ever. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, I think the lawyers can also say we can separate it. Like Karen Reed just signed Mark Betterow to her team, right? Mark Betterow just joined on Turtle Boy's team. Turtle Boy's team, like, y'all didn't want to separate, but here, Mark Betterow just connected y'all back together. So I think that that's interesting. I just hope that I will boycott if these motherfuckers do not give Turtle Boy his ding, ding, ding. Mainstream media, I don't know if Turtle Boy all told, maybe I don't know, because I haven't talked to him. Maybe he told all them to go fuck themselves, which I'd be like, yeah. Motherfucker gets 4.9K live in chat. You think he gives a fuck if mainstream media wants to interview him during the Karen Reed segment that they do when they're getting like 1,000? I'd tell them to suck my dick too. For me, I'd say, yeah, rub my fucking tits down. I don't need you, okay? I think that they did him so disgusting. They made him to be out to some like crazy person. And I have a problem with that. I have an issue with that. Because mainstream media is supposed to be real journalism, and it's turned into an absolute fucking abortion is what it's turned into. So sad thing. If I was to talk about the Karen Reed case and anybody could say to me, Lana, you could have anybody on your channel that you want, who you want to debate with. Who are you picking? Turtle Boy. Okay, who's your second pick? Karen Reed case? Me. Wow, Lana, really? You? Absolutely. Okay. Why? Well, because I know the case. That's why. Woo! Thought it was God. Third person, who would I pick? Young Jerks. Why? Well, God, as much as they talk about the Karen Reed case, they better know about the Karen Reed case. Fourth pick. Well, I want our videos to look good, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Microdots. Oh, Lana's so smart. Okay, so you want Lana, Turtle Boy, Microdots, Young Jerks. Who's your fifth? Who's your starting five? Oh, God, I knew you were going to go there. Karen Reed case, who's my starting five? I'm going to have to go with... Well, we need an attorney because we're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble. Lana, Turtle Boy, Microdots, and Young Jerks. We're going to get ourselves in a lot of trouble. So I got to go with an attorney. Alan Jackson. What? That's my five. And I'll take Alan Jackson without the beard. Without the beard for 500, Alex. If I can't have Alan Jackson because he's on the team, like the team, I'm going to roll with Turtle Boy's lawyer, and I'm going to go with Bradle. Sorry, but I got to. And then who I want to film it all is Tom CPU. So that's my team. If you want to put me in a room with 5 people, one guy's going to protect our rights, and then 4 people are going to solve the case and make it look good and do the behind the scenes, that's my team. Turtle Boy, Lana, Microdots, Young Jerk, and I want Tom CPU behind the scenes, and then I want Turtle Boy's lawyer to protect our rights. That's who I pick. Somebody tweeted today, and I think it's interesting, when they said Karen Reed's metadata puts her not going up 3 flights of stairs, but at the same time as John O'Keefe's metadata had him going up 3 flights of stairs. And I was told, though, that Karen Reed, her Apple data wasn't working. So we need to talk about that. Because I was told, think about this, guys, in the entire trial 1, they never mentioned Karen Reed's metadata from her iPhone Apple data. And don't you think that if the iPhone metadata in Karen Reed's phone would have showed what they're basically saying right now, if you're going to sit here and tell me that the defense missed that, then I'm going to tell Karen Reed to ask for all $5 million back. Like, how do you miss that? No joke. If it comes out in trial 2 that they had Karen Reed's metadata from her Apple data that would count your steps and your flights of stairs, and during the same time, so everybody would have known this, and you're going to sit here and tell me that they didn't play that in, to say like, okay, well, here, if you're saying that John O'Keefe and Karen are in the car together, why isn't her health data going like this, right? If I'm Karen Reed, I'm asking for all $5 million back. Because there is no way in hell that me, Turtle Boy, we would have never missed that. Like, we're your researchers. We would have never missed that. So who the fuck is researching your discovery? Sorry, but there's just no way I missed that. There's fucking absolutely no way I missed that. So if that comes out in trial 2, I'm sorry, but that's a big fucking problem. Now, if it comes out that the metadata was destroyed and we were able to save it because they fucked around with it in trial 1, okay, great. Target, her and John Data didn't both hit 3 flights, right? This is what's being alleged right now in the Twitter world. I don't know. But what I'm trying to get out to you guys, though, is that there is no way in hell that the defense misses this. If they do, I am telling Alan Jackson to give me back $5 million. Because you don't miss this if you're Alan Jackson. You don't miss this if you're Little. There's no way they would have missed this. So whoever put this out there, I want to talk about that, because Karen Reed from trial 1, from my understanding, is Karen Reed wasn't sharing location. Like, she had her shit shut down. You know how, like, you have your phone and you can pick and choose what you want on your phone, and okay, hey, I don't want Google, so nope, don't share locations, don't do this, don't do that. If you're going and doing those things, it's going to shut it all down. Sidebar. The sidebar's at it. Oh, Holly, I just got your shit. Oh, fuck yeah. Look at that badass setup. I need to put that up there. So I'm not sure if you guys understand that, but the way I understood it or heard it, yeah, Karen had location services turned off. Yeah, but I want to know about that Apple. Like, if they had that, it would have already been, like, whoever put that out there in the Twitter world, like, I'll pray for you. Because if that's if this comes out in trial 2, it's almost like, what the fuck? But God, this sounds so bad. But then you have to think about Delphi. And it came out in the Delphi case that, hey, why didn't the lawyers in the Delphi case, when they saw that Brad Weber is testifying to something that happened at whatever time, and then we're going to show him the van, why didn't we put that in? And why didn't we just ask him about this? Why didn't we call this person up? And that's why it's almost like you always want to wish that people go, like, I want people to put the death penalty on me. If I'm going to have a murder case, go for my death, because I want the resources. And when you don't have resources, then you're fucked. That's what I think happened in Delphi. They didn't go for can you even go for the death penalty in Indiana? But that just screwed him. Location doesn't matter to the health data, or does it? I honestly don't know. I'm asking, so don't kill me. Oh, no, I'm not killing you. That's a great question. I'm saying, though, that we should just put all aside, though, and ask ourselves, with the people that they have on this case, you don't think that they would have known about the health data and would have compared Karen Reed's health data to John O'Keefe's health data? What I was told is that there was no health data. So, Lana, have you watched Dream Feed Media's streams? They are pretty interesting. I don't even know who that is, but thank you. Feel free to send them to my, oh wait, wrong person. Sorry, there it is. But feel free to email me those. I always look for new things to check out. Yeah, that is sort of silver bullet match up the drive. Yeah, like, how do you miss that? You don't miss that. But if that comes out, and I'm just saying, if it comes out in round 2, Alan, I'm gonna need that five mil back, because what the fuck are y'all doing? Whoa, I always thought you would have watched Dreamfield. I don't even, who is it? I'm sorry. You guys, if I watched YouTube and all the people that were on it, I wouldn't get any work done. Does that make sense? Not that I don't watch because I don't like, there's no way I have time. You don't have time. So, oh, well, good. Well, cheers. Can't watch it all for sure. That's the only thing. Now, I'm telling you what I think Karen Reid's best defense is. Gotta think like I'm a lay person. Karen Reid, here it is. I have all of these new printouts. And I'm going to show you guys. I have 24 hours. So the affidavit in support of defendants' Rule 14 and 17 motion for court order authorizing defense access to the Lexus and Traverse and to the driveway at One Meadows Avenue in Canton. You guys ready for this shit? These motherfucking idiots. They took the one car and smashed it into the other car. That's what I said to do. This is what I think is hilarious. Mark B, if you're in chat, vouch for me on this. Me and Mark B are talking, and I'm like, what are the measurements? Let me go to a Lexus dealership. Let me go to a Chevy dealership. Let's get these two vehicles up next to each other and see what we're working with. You know what I mean? So we're over here already thinking about that shit, right? I can't believe this. I cannot believe that on February 11, 2025, I am reading an affidavit from David Yannetti that says the Commonwealth has provided notice to the defense that it has retained an expert to examine and perform tests related to my client's Lexus and Mr. O'Keefe's Traverse. The defense desires the same opportunity to have an expert conduct independent testing. You guys, they took the one vehicle and smashed it into the other vehicle. Y'all know this. This just happened. The Commonwealth has also provided notice to the defense that it has retained an expert to examine and conduct tests in the driveway of One Meadows Avenue in Canton. The defense desires the same opportunity to have an expert conduct the independent testing. The defense should have the same opportunity to conduct testing that the Commonwealth has. It should not matter that one of the vehicles and the driveway in question are not in the Commonwealth's custody. This motion is therefore brought in part pursuant to Mass Rule Criminal Procedure 17. I said to myself, what is going on? Let me tell you what this is all about, y'all. This is about, they wanted to test, Trooper Paul wanted to test if you take Karen Reid's Lexus and you actually back it up like they say. This is like doing a crime scene reenactment. If we were to back up Karen Reid's Lexus and then put the Traverse right there, when she backs it up and nudges it, what's going to happen? Like, let's reenact this. Okay. Well, me and Mark B have talked extensively about this. I just emailed Nana some pics and videos from Karen Tailgate. Y'all know, in case she needs some content in her marathon. Bitch, please. I may need a voiceover, but not no content, girl. But thank you. I love you. God, I love Holly. If Holly wasn't taken, I'd fuck her. True story. I love her man too much, though. Love you, Chris. Literally, I don't even know who I like more, Chris or Holly. Chris is listening, and he's like, fuck yeah, Lana, this is why I like you. You down. Fucking cheating ass motherfucker. Anyways. Why wasn't this done, like, I don't know, 2022, 2023? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at a piece of paper, and I'm like, wait a second. Y'all are just testing what me and Mark B, like, literally were, like, scathing over. I was like, dude, let's prove that this Lexus, where it would have hit, and they all think that it was, like, light to light. Me and Mark B are over here like, no, it was the Traverse emblem that when she backed it up, her light hit and backed in and it hit the Traverse emblem of the Chevy, and it was sticking out a little bit, which punctured it to like. Oh, Holly, did you like that? There you go, love. So they think it's going to be like light to light, or yeah, we were both dying laughing. Thank you. I'll take a threesome. Sounds good. I'll see you guys at CrimeCon. Fucking A, bitches. God, I love that. That's like one of my favorite couples of all time. You guys might want to hit up Jennifer Drake for that shit. Oh, shit. I have to show you guys my gift. Show me that smile. I just needed some more juice. All right, so it's Valentine's Day, and I was very adamant of what I wanted for Valentine's Day. And so what I got for Valentine's Day, I said I wanted my collection. I wanted Zach Morris. Cha-ching. I wanted Kelly Kapowski. Cha-ching. But I didn't want either one of those unless I could get Richard motherfucking Belding to compete with a threesome of a lifetime. Boom. So there you go. Cheers. I asked for Richard. You know how hard it is to get Richard Belding? Bella found me Belding. Fucking points. Okay. So back to this fuckerall. I'm like, I can't believe that they didn't try this earlier. But anyways, basically the moral of the story is that when the Commonwealth tried this shit, it didn't crack the taillight. And then we said, I don't give a fuck. I said, you're going to let those assholes back out all that Paul O'Keefe's in the driveway? I mean, wild shit. Mark B, I'm telling you, we are still both on this whole thing that the Traverses Chevy little emblem, that's what we think punctured to like hit and crack the taillight. So back it up however you want. That's what I believe. This is motion for admission pro hack Vice of Mark Betterow. Mark Betterow, is he getting paid? I don't know. Do you guys know? I'm just curious. I think Mark's great. I think he's highly critical of everything that's going on. So it's interesting because I wasn't able to be taken on in a couple cases when people are like, oh my God, Lana, you've been so highly critical in this case. We can't associate with you. Okay, bitch. Well, go fuck with them motherfucking amateurs. I don't care if you associate with me. Like, let me do your motherfucking research. I will find you something so fast, you'll be coming for days. Like, let me just find your G-spot, and then I'll leave. Like, I don't want to hang out and play in the pen. Like, I want to hit it and I'm out. Like, what do you need? I'll find it and we move on. I will find it. Needle in the haystack, I will find it. So, Bella came through big time. Nice job, Bella. Way to get Richard Belding in the bedroom. I know. I think that's weird. So, see, I knew he would be. Is Betterow pro bono for Turtle Boy? Because now he better be. See, me being so, like, I am protective of Turtle Boy because I just know what it's like. Can you fucking imagine somebody, or you're getting arrested for these fucking lying-ass cunt whores? And then my kids, like, who do you think you motherfucking are? That's why my first thing is I was like, dude, if Turtle Boy needs anything to do with timelines or putting and looking through something and extra eyes, I gotcha. I don't want anything from it. I want to be behind the scenes. Here you go. Let me glance at it. This is what I found. If you've already found it, great. If you have it, great. Whatever. So it just bothers me. It bothers me when people mess with people. Like, if you are so badass, then drive your motherfucking rig and stay in your lane and go own the world. Get the fuck out of my lane. Okay, so what do we got here? And then you get the little, yeah. Oh, I think I think they should all go. I think that should be the threesome right there. I want to see Ken Mello blowing Brian Tully while fucking Lindsay's licking the rims of all their asses. That's what I want to see. If there's a porn out there, that's what I want to see. I want to see Brian Tully and Ken Mello, whoever wants to be the bottom, whoever wants to be the top, but I definitely want to see Lindsay rimming them both. So take that. Oh, Tammy said he paid Marco. That's too bad. I hope he didn't. You guys like that? Kate Peters would be in the mix too. Fucking throw her ass up in there. She can videotape. Lawyer, mentions a difference between billing for hours and not getting paid in pro bono. Well, Lawyer, I gave Lawyer, a fucking nut to take on the Karen Moore case out of Florida and Idaho. Next up, we have Commonwealth's motion to exclude employees of. What the shit? Wait, what's the over-under on Jen's tooth being fixed for the next trial? We'll put that up there. Oh. Jesus. So guess what, guys? The Commonwealth moves to exclude the defendant from calling employees of ARCA. Are you out of your mind? So the feds hired ARCA, and the Commonwealth is moving to exclude them. What is going on? The parameters of the experts' opinions were not provided by the defendant prior to her trial, and portions of the experts' opinions were not expected nor properly noticed. Why? So we can give you our shit so you can fuck with our shit again like you did with Jen McCabe and the little 10-year-old. Prior to and during the defendant's first trial, the Commonwealth repeatedly moved for reciprocal discovery from the defendant. We gave it to you, and then you fucked with it, and you abused the power of reciprocal discovery. Citing a restraint and an inability to comply with Mass Rule 14, the defendant failed to provide the Commonwealth with any discovery from ARCA. And I don't think it was so much them, you guys, if you remember. Alan Jackson went in blind with ARCA because it was the feds. And remember Alan Jackson, because Lally was like, I find it hard to believe that you would just call people to the stand that you don't know what they're going to say. Huh? Like, no, I have the report. I have the report that you have and I had from the feds. I chose to call them as a witness. You chose to suck your own dick, take out a rib to do it, Lally. And that's how that all went down. So to allow the defendant ample time to retain her own experts and to prevent any delays in the April 1st, 2025 trial date, on December 5th, 2024, the Commonwealth renewed its request for discovery, emanating that 13 areas of discoverable material related to ARCA from the defendant. They wanted 13 areas. On January 6, 2025, the Commonwealth notified the court that the defendant of its intention to move to exclude ARCA, Dr. Wolf and Dr. What are they called? The crash up daddies. Based on the defendant's repeated failure and inability to comply with inability, God, you sound like my fucking ex, inability to fucking comply with that discovery request. Shit, let's talk about my job. I would like to say I would like to pat myself on the back, and I'm going to give my toot toot. They said that you are a fool if you represent yourself. You a fool for that one. Well, I've represented myself because I believe that I'm the most knowledgeable on my own case. I do. I'm sorry. And I think that I will fucking blast anybody that fucking tries to come in my motherfucking shit. Inability to comply. To date, the defendant has filed no response nor produced any additional discovery. And then on February 6th, these fucking assholes had the audacity, that asshole Alan Jackson indicated to the Commonwealth in this court that he intends to call these experts, presumably Dr. Wolf and this other motherfucker Renshaw, at the defense's upcoming trial. The audacity of that motherfucker. Shit. On December 4, 2024, the Commonwealth filed a written request for discoverable material from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Well, guess what? That ain't on the fucking defense. See Exhibit A1 or A footnote 1. The Commonwealth, pursuant to trial rules, uniform procedure, the 2 exhibits are filed under seal and impounded with the court. So they're impounding shit. On January 30th, 2025, the Commonwealth and defense received a response from the U.S. Attorney's Office citing certain federal statutes and regulations that restricted the complete discovery the Commonwealth is entitled to. We'll take it up with their asses. How does it fucking feel? Particularly, despite the formal 4-page letter received on January 30th, following the party's appearance before this court on February 6th, the Commonwealth and defense received an email from the U.S. Attorney's Office stating that their contract with ARCA ended on July 31st, 2024. So you better go find us some other fucking way. I love it. Twisting them. Twist their pubes back. So, and should either party wish to engage in ARCA for additional analysis, further engagement must not infringe on any federal privileges. Mass Rule 14 demands reciprocal and expert discovery. As the proponent of the evidence, the defendant bears the full obligations of Rule 14. Yeah, blah, blah. The defendant cannot shield herself from discovery obligations by citing restraints by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Or, so this is what's hilarious, is this is so fucking crazy. Alan Jackson made it perfectly clear. We have what you guys have. We didn't hire them. They didn't hire them in the first trial. They simply called them as witnesses to testify to the report that they did, and they couldn't talk about who hired them. So why does Hank, under this assumption that the defense has more information than the prosecution? We elected to call them. You chose not to, and the Commonwealth remains unduly prejudiced by the defendant's delays in providing appropriate discovery. I'm going to tell you what's going to be said. I just told you 2 seconds ago. We don't have anything. We called them. Did they even submit a report? Like, I mean, is Hank need medicine? Is he okay? This is fucking awful. The Commonwealth is entitled not to repeatedly be ambushed at trial. Are you fucking kidding me? Ambushed? The only ambush I see is that shit show of that Sallyport bullshit. How are they even going to trial? How does Alec Baldwin get dismissed? What the fuck? And here, Karen Reed, who's way hotter than Alec Baldwin, she's got to stand trial again. Alec Baldwin is out. Like, oh shit, there's a bullet. We talked about it. Blah, blah, bullet, blah, blah. Out. Karen Reed gets fucked every way since Friday and Sunday and Monday, twice on Sunday. And she's going to sustain. Yeah, keep taking it, girl. Ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. A criminal defendant's constitutional right to call a witness on her behalf is not absolute and may be limited in the judge's discretion in the face of legitimate demands of the adversarial system. This motherfucker is crying because he doesn't have. Wait, we're not asking them to produce anything. We're having them testify on a report that they produced for somebody else. Okay, so what do you want them to do? They're going to just testify to the report they did. We have that and they have that. What else do they want from us? They're not testifying to anything else. They're testifying to the same they testified in trial 1. That's why I mean, absolutely absurd. I mean, does this guy have no testicles that he is just like, I don't even understand what's going on. Next up, Karen Reed, motion of the defendant to exclude the testimony of the Commonwealth's witness, James W. Crosby. I thought he was a hockey player at first, and then I had to like really dial in. So Karen Reed motioned 499 here. She's like, hey, Dr. Crosby is not qualified to render the opinions he proffers. So they're doing a proffer here. Awesome. Proffer up Higgins. It is undisputed that he is not a medical doctor. You guys, this is what I don't believe. Why does he have the title PhD if he's not a doctor? What the fuck, man? That is, Dr. Crosby is not qualified to render the opinions he proffers. It is undisputed that he is not a medical doctor. He thus fails per se. Per se is like what you do for a living, guys, by the way. Per se, the crucial qualifications inquiry of the Dauber-Lanigan standard. This failure is not curable. In addition, the methodology, so he's just handing it right back to Hank. Here's your methodology for 500, Hank. Yeah, he has a PhD. So in addition, the methodology that he invokes in his report is not reliable, they say. This is Karen Reed's team saying this James W. Crosby, okay, that you think that you're going to have testified to the injuries to the right arm of the descendant. No way. The decedent. Exclusion of the testimony is compelled because it fails each of the two main prongs of the Dauber-Lanigan inquiry. Qualifications and methodology, those are the two. So what are your qualifications? You have to meet the standard, and then your methodology has to meet the standard. That's the two prong, the titty prong. Among other deficits is his small penis. There is no showing that his abnormally small penis is accepted in the relevant medical community. In the methodology that he replicate his small penis without error, as is demonstrated in the affidavit by Marie Russell that her dick is bigger. Wow. What language. Here is the argument, guys. So Marie Russell threw in an affidavit. The failure of either Dauber-Lanigan prong requires exclusion of the proffered testimony. Okay. Wow. So the Commonwealth fails to and cannot meet its burden to establish the requisite qualifications of Dr. Crosby. And then they're citing cases. For the purpose of this motion, the defense has redacted various photos in the Dr. Crosby report to account for lividity and personal information stated on the hospital wristband. Aww. The defense could not locate a transcript of this ruling. As a result, the defense transcribed the video clip of the ruling, which was made in open court. And they use YouTube as their source. I love it. You guys, YouTube is getting fucking popular. Moreover, Dr. Crosby concedes in his report that he is not a medical doctor, stating, "I am not a physician." Dr. Crosby then appears to express awareness of and sensitivity to his failure of qualifications. He unsuccessfully attempts to evade the shortcomings raised, quote unquote, straw man argument that he should escape this failure because, quote unquote, this case is not about the treatment of the wounds on the right arm of the decedent, but his report says in quotes, I am not a physician. I am not licensed to treat injuries or illnesses in human patients. However, this case is not about the treatment of the victim, John O'Keefe. Thus, any opinion regarding the medical treatment of Mr. O'Keefe is okay. I agree with that, and has no impact of my opinions for the opinions of the opinions. I agree with that. I don't think that it matters. So at this point, I think that he should be able to testify. Let's see what I think about this point at page 3. Dr. Russell report dated December 9th. I thought she didn't do a report. So now Dr. Russell has a report in, you guys? What the fuck is going on here? See all these liars? Just read the documents and you can just get all caught up. Dr. Russell did not render any opinion on treatment. Second, the fact that this case is not about the treatment of the wounds to the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe cannot be saved. This is crazy. If he wants to say that, what does he want to give his opinion on? Dr. Crosby attempts to opine that the wounds on the right arm of the decedent cannot be caused by Chloe or any other large dog. I think that's fine. If he wants to opine that, he can. Thus, his straw man discussion of treatment of the decedent is a distraction, is very much beside the point, and it fails. Dr. Crosby's venturing well beyond his qualifications and attempting to make the sweeping determination that the wounds on the right arm of the decedent could not have been caused by Chloe or any other large dog is also eliminated by his own proclamations. That's cross-examination. The name of his consulting group is Canine Aggression. I'm sorry. I just believe it's the battle of the experts, y'all. You know, we have an ER doctor. They have a veterinarian. Here you go, right? That's why, you guys, all of it should come down to this reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. You need to use this case to restore reasonable doubt. Karen Reed's case should be all about restoring reasonable doubt. You guys, Lana, he is not a vet. What the fuck is he? I thought that's what they just said he was. He was a vet. Now comes the defendant, Karen Reed, and we want him out of here. What the fuck is he? They make it seem like he's a goddamn vet. It's like no one understands reasonable doubt. Yeah, bring it back. Nope. Oh, that's right. He's a dog whisperer. I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Same fucking shit. Same shit, different day. Get in what's his name. Get in the dog whisperer, okay? He's not a vet, though. He's a dog whisperer. He's what's his name? I know who he is. I gotcha. You guys, let this. I would be like, yeah, bring it in. When the jury hears that you brought in a dog whisperer, okay? Come on, man. Sometimes you gotta. I'm gonna go with he's a dog whisperer, right? Yeah, there you go. No, he's not. He's a dog whisperer. He's a glorified dog trainer. That's even better. I've never seen those types. He's gonna look like a fool. Let him say it. Who cares? Please, and don't interrupt him. That's what I said. Let him testify. What a fucking idiot. You guys, I've taken out the exhibits. I take John O'Keefe's hoodie and you take his scratches and Cesar Millan, and you lay them over top of them and it matches. It's bizarre. But let's bring back reasonable doubt. Let's say, hey, the defense or the prosecution has brought in, the Commonwealth has said, here's our 12 witnesses. They were all at that house. They all came in here. They all said they were there. They all then left. All of them leaving at different times. Some when there was snow, some when there wasn't snow, some when there was a couple people walking out, some when there wasn't. But everything remained the same. That they would have seen a body on the lawn, and 2, they didn't, and if they did, they would have helped him. There was no body on the lawn. And in order to convict my client, you would have to say that 12 people are lying. That's it. In order to convict my client, you have to say to yourself that 12 people who testified are lying because nobody saw a body. That's it. And then you want to take the jury to the lawn right before they go to deliberate. That is very, very crucial. They went too early the last time. You're right, Lana. Use the fake witnesses to say he wasn't on the lawn. That's what all you have to say. You have to say, believe them. We want you to believe them. We believe them. You believe them. Because if you don't believe them, then they are committing a crime by them not attempting to save this man. You understand? He could have been saved. If somebody at 1:30 or at 2 o'clock in the morning when they were leaving would have seen him, right? Oh my God, look, John, boom. Go ham at the coat. Take a look at Higgins's to see what he was wearing. Nuttall says that John O'Keefe had a winter jacket on and it was a puffy coat. Well, look at what Higgins was wearing, and he was the one that had this puffy jacket on. Or was it Brian Albert? Or was it, what's his name? McCabe. John never had a puffy jacket on. Somebody put that jacket on him because they thought that he would come to. Then that jacket, poof, disappears. So I want you to recall this testimony right here with Nuttall, and I will bring it to the stage.
Firefighting structural gear out with ambulance 1 just in the event that there was an emergency. And as I was doing that, the emergency tones went off for a medical.
Do you recall what was the report in regard to what was dispatch in regard to as far as the medical was concerned?
The overhead dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road outside. Unclear any further information. So when that came on, we had one of the paramedics that morning and one of the firefighters who was a relatively new firefighter. I made the decision to step onto the ambulance to provide an extra set of hands as one of the more senior paramedics in the station at the time.
And correct me if I'm wrong, when you step onto the ambulance,
the overhead dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road outside. Unclear any. Dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road outside.
Who, if anyone, or what, if any, other sort of vehicles were dispatched on this call as well?
The initial dispatch was Canton Engine 3 in Canton Ambulance 1. Due to the severity of the call, depending on how it comes in, the shift commander, which is car 5, he will usually respond to any significant incident. So he also added himself to the call, just as a senior officer with us. So the final dispatch, I believe, was car 5, engine 3, in ambulance 1.
You know who was on engine 3 and who was in car 5?
Car 5 was Captain Robry. Engine 3 was Lieutenant Greg Woodbury, firefighter Frank Walsh, and firefighter Katie McLaughlin.
As far as the ambulance 1 that you were in, obviously there's somebody driving and there's somebody in the front passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
And so who was driving and who was in the front passenger seat?
I don't want to speak out of turn. I honestly can't tell you who was driving. I was in the back. I was in the back patient compartment of the ambulance, just because there's only 2 seats up front. So I hopped in the back.
Okay. And so when you're in the back of the ambulance and you're going to the call, what is it that you're doing in sort of preparation? Where was it in relation to the roadway?
I estimated it about where the sidewalk met the front lawn of that residence. That would be my best estimation.
You have any estimate as far as footage or anything like that?
I would say about.
Did you guys catch that right there? He was asking where the body was, and he said where the sidewalk. Listen, there is no sidewalk, you guys. There is no sidewalk there. This is really, really important. This is really, really important. And he needs to be a star witness for the defense, because this was plowed in a very particular way. The body was in a snowbank. Wait, what? No. How could it be a snowbank? Wait, he's talking about he thinks that there is a sidewalk. There is no sidewalk there. But the way that it was plowed, okay? Who would have plowed? What? That's crazy. But use this against this man, or ask him to explain what he means by sidewalk. There's no sidewalk there.
To the ambulance, what, if anything, did you note as far as what, if any, difference was there in the lighting in the back of the ambulance versus on the front lawn?
Lighting was significantly better. All of our ambulances have fluorescent lighting in the ceiling of the ambulance, so those were on, and we were able to see that there was some more injuries once we were able to get him out of his winter clothing.
Right
and
here.
So to that point, when you sort of
and others were removing clothing, I honestly couldn't tell you the number of articles of clothing, but I believe a winter jacket and a sweatshirt were removed, and then eventually he was all the clothing was removed, and that's
anyone else
winter
in your department
jacket
is in the back of the ambulance, and what, if anything, are they doing at that?
So at that point, I had myself and Nat Kelly, EMT Kelly. He was kind of with me for the head. One of the, for lack of a better term, easier operations of a cardiac arrest is ventilation. So Matt Kelly was assisting me with ventilations, is just squeezing the BVM to provide ventilation. The lead paramedic for the cardiac arrest was Anthony Flamati. He was running everything else. He was running the application of the cardiac monitor. He was monitoring the status of medic.
Don't you think this guy would know, if he was in the back of the ambulance, what clothing would have come off this man to say he doesn't even have a jacket on? He's saying that he had a jacket on. Okay? So this is where you would it's going to be really, really interesting what articles of clothing is Higgins wearing. I'm sorry, but John didn't have, they need to bring him back on the stand. I personally think it's going to be interesting what people Hank chooses to use to talk about the case. He doesn't need to go the way that Lally went, everybody, right? He was trying to drain out the jury, and I'm telling you, it worked. That like Lally succeeded in that. And if Hank is going to go quick, Hank's going to lose real quick, because the dragging out of this case, I'm telling you, they forgot about all of this. And then they had to rely on their notes when they got back to the room. And so when they're trying to argue stuff, they couldn't even argue what any of these people said. The defense would have had to recall these people to like really go, you know what I mean? Hey, when you were up here, you talked about a jacket. He was wearing a jacket, but he really wasn't wearing a jacket, because these people talked before the videos of John O'Keefe just in his little, little thin string bean shit. You know what I mean? This guy is so important. So important. And you want him, you want to say like he's telling the truth. Okay? Don't make it seem like he's a liar. You want to say he's telling the truth because somebody put a jacket on him. I'm telling you. If he was lying, don't you think he would have gotten it right and got the story right that John O'Keefe was only in his little stupid little layer of just, I got this little flimsy hoodie? You don't. Tell the jury, like, yes, they're bringing all these people up here because this is what's going on. This is what it is. Exactly. This is this. How did John get a jacket on? Who did John get a jacket from? Didn't get it from fucking Karen. I think they would have noticed that, wow, John's wearing a woman's jacket. Like, what the fuck? You cannot run from this testimony. Use it. John did not have a jacket all night. Now all of a sudden he has a jacket. Where'd that jacket come from? Who had a puffy winter jacket? Show them the video. Hey, ask him, hey, did they ever show you videos of John? No, they never did. Well, let's show. Is this what John looked like? Did he only have that hoodie on? Would you have noticed that? Would you have been like, wow, he doesn't have a shoe on and he has no jacket on? But instead, he says he has a jacket on. It's because somebody was trying to warm him up. Somebody was thinking, throw his ass out there, he'll wake up. He's passed out, he'll wake back up. This is so important.
Medications being administered. He was assisted with that by Katie McLaughlin, Lieutenant Woodbury, and Firefighter Walsh.
And at some point, Firefighter Flamati, at this point that you're in the back of the ambulance, you don't have any sort of demographic information in regard to your patient, correct?
Correct. Objection.
So what, if anything, did Firefighter Flamati ask anybody else to do in regard to obtain?
I believe he asked
Objection
Firefighter
hearsay.
McLaughlin to exit the ambulance and gather.
Wouldn't that be objection hearsay? I mean, what the fuck?
Some information from the bystanders in terms of name, date of birth, any significant medical history or medications, just so we could further treat the patient.
And to the best of your knowledge, Firefighter McLaughlin leaves the ambulance to do that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Objection leading.
But you weren't present for any of that, correct?
No.
Objection leading. Fuck this man. Do not give them any fucking easy outs. Ridiculous. This is horrible. But just
to the hospital.
So the transport in the back in the patient compartment was myself, Firefighter Kelly, and Firefighter Flamati, with Firefighter McLaughlin driving ambulance 1.
that's important because Flamati, who was doing the compressions, okay, he's basically saying then that he goes and gets into the ambulance, right? Well, when Flamati's on the stand, he's over there saying, I don't know, I don't recall. And Alan Jackson's just like, wait, isn't that you right there? No, I don't know. I can't tell. Flamati's a fucking piece of shit. go with this man and go with the jacket. I'm telling you.
Approach this individual the exact same way. Is automatically went directly to cardiac. Make sure.
I guess what I'm asking is your attention is focused on some of those details for sure.
Correct.
And that's how you remember that big heavy coat that he was wearing, correct?
I remember he was appropriately dressed. Correct.
Okay.
Right there. See how Alan Jackson says that's how you remember that big heavy coat that he was wearing. Alan Jackson needed to bring him back out though, because this was 30 some days before they go back to deliberate. Do you think that the jury remembered this? No. You need to bring this man back the fuck out here, and you need to say, this man was wearing a jacket. How did he get a jacket? He's with the whole night Karen Reed without a jacket. Now the motherfucking dude has a jacket. Just like how they said, and let them say he never went into the house, y'all. Please listen. Let them say that. Because he got into Higgins's truck. Recall a witness? Yeah, you can recall a witness. Recall this witness. Recall him and say, you testified that John O'Keefe was appropriately dressed, that he had a winter jacket on. You would have noticed if he didn't, right? Instead, Alan Jackson, go and listen to us. He says to him, well, you would remember things just as accurately as you thought that he had a puffy jacket on. And I was like, oh, no, use that the other way. And you need to use it the other way because Karen Reed was with him without a jacket the whole entire night. That boy did not have a jacket. How does he have one? Tell this man that he is right and tell the jury that he is right. And say, don't, because he uses it to try to discredit him. He uses that to say, well, your memory would just be as accurate as you think that he had a puffy jacket on. And the jury didn't catch up on that. Now the jury will catch up on the fact that this is a firefighter, right? Okay, we're going to recall you. You would have remembered if John O'Keefe wasn't dressed appropriately. And you said, yeah, no, he was dressed appropriately. Okay, great. So he wasn't just in a little thin hoodie, right? No, I said he had a jacket on. Okay, great. So he had a jacket on. Where's the jacket? Well, we cut it. We cut it and it would have been in the ambulance. Okay. More of destruction of evidence. Go that route. Okay. This guy saw the jacket. He would have noticed if he didn't have a jacket. That's what he says. Use it. Because he was with Karen Reed without a jacket. So that means at some point, somebody put a jacket on him and Karen Reed didn't have a jacket to put on him. Okay. He wasn't wearing a woman's jacket, was he? No, he was. You have to say this. This is so important because every clip that they see of John O'Keefe, he doesn't have a jacket on. So who put a jacket on that man? And then you want to bring up Matt McCabe. Matt McCabe and Sarah Livingston. Sarah says, oh, yeah, well, we were about to leave, but then Matt McCabe had to go back inside and get his jacket because he forgot his jacket. So we had to wait a little bit. Oh my God. Matt McCabe had to go back into the house and couldn't leave. Oh shit, I forgot my jacket. Let me go back in there and get it. Realizing that, oh, my jacket is on motherfucking John. So then Matt McCabe either got somebody else's jacket, okay, but you want to use that against these motherfuckers. They were over here trying to cover all their tracks, but now we have an opportunity where somebody, please send me these goddamn transcripts because I don't have time to go through fucking YouTube and download all these motherfucking bullshit. But let's Who has the transcripts? Please send them to me. I will find you every little nook that you will use to fuck everybody. You cannot make these people look bad. You need to make these people say, yep, boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, you saw a jacket on him. Matt McCabe doesn't have a jacket. How easy would it be for him to just grab a jacket out of there and make it seem like that's a jacket that he came with? Give me a fucking contract. I'll sign on the dotted line, but listen, nobody is going to be able to get on board 100% with saying that the police framed Karen Read. They didn't do it the first time, right? People have a problem with that. But did the police frame her? Fuck yeah, they framed her. They framed her for another fucking police officer, okay? But we don't even have to do that. So maybe we should stay away from that. Let's go with their own witnesses. Their own witnesses say that John O'Keefe was not on the front lawn. So then all you have to ask yourself is, hey, I have a question. If I was a juror right now, this is how you want to close out. If I was a juror, I'd be asking myself right now, where was John O'Keefe from 12:30 until 6 o'clock in the morning? Because the Commonwealth has no idea where John O'Keefe was from 12:30 until 6 o'clock in the morning. Every one of their witnesses have come out here and told us that he wasn't on the fucking lawn and that he didn't go inside. So where is John O'Keefe from 12:30 until 6 o'clock in the morning? That's how you want to open up. If I was a jury, y'all, my first question would be where was John O'Keefe from 12:30 until 6 o'clock? Because every single witness that they presented here, who we believe, has said that John O'Keefe didn't come in the house and he wasn't on the lawn. So where is John O'Keefe? Nobody has been brought through here to say where John O'Keefe was from 12:30 until 6 o'clock. You're right. Everybody said that he didn't come in. And everybody said that when they left or they came and they arrived, that they didn't see him. So where is he? Exactly. And then you say to your jury, now, in order for my client to be guilty of anything, John O'Keefe has to be on that lawn. And he has to be on that lawn at least by 12:26, 28, because Karen Read and her vehicle and her phone are all driving, and then they get on the Wi-Fi at this time. And it takes this long to get to that house. So then you subtract it and you show them how you're deducting to say, okay, if Karen Read did this and backed up like they're trying to say, then this would have happened at this time. But what that means, guys, is that Richie, Sarah, the Maxon girl, Nagel's brother, all of these people, Tristan Morris, who comes by himself to go by the house twice, park, pull out, go, all of these things, and not anybody see him. The Commonwealth has shown you no witnesses to seeing this ram job, see him on the lawn, help him, nothing, because he wasn't there. They've all testified to say, if there was a body on the lawn, would you have seen it? Yes. And I would have done something about it, right? That's what Higgins says. Everybody says that. So the question is where is John O'Keefe? And if you're still asking yourself where John O'Keefe was between 12:26 a.m. and 6 o'clock in the morning, like we are, okay, like the Commonwealth is, because they haven't proven beyond a reasonable doubt that he was on the lawn, then I'm going to see you guys back here in an hour when you say not guilty, because we have no idea where John O'Keefe was, their victim, for fucking 6 hours. The 6 hours of which the murder happened at some point between 12:26 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, what makes sense to me, like again, if I'm speaking as a defense attorney, and this is how I would say it, now guys, what makes sense to me is that if John O'Keefe isn't on the lawn and he isn't in the house, where is the next place that it would be possible that John O'Keefe would be? In a vehicle. In a vehicle. So then I would take Nick Guerrero and I'd make him feel like a star. Now, you guys heard that Nick said when you're driving and you're going up and down hills, that's going to take the three flights of stairs. So while my client, because Karen Reed isn't taking the stand, so nobody's hearing that Karen Reed saying, I saw him go into the house. Nobody is going to hear that. Karen Reed could have seen him go to get into the house, and she thinks he's going in, and then he's met by fucking Higgins. He's like, outside, we have to talk. And then so Karen Reed sees it, she turns her head and doesn't realize that John O'Keefe then is taken backwards and put into, hey, we got to talk. Higgins is saying, I'm going to unleash on you to tell you that your girl is a hoe. She tried to kiss me. She tried to do this. She tried to do this. Da, da, da. I'm letting you know this. So let's go talk about it. Higgins and John O'Keefe get into a vehicle. They back out, right? Pull away, start to go drive. Just like how we said, oh, the hilly. They went out that way because they're just going to go drive and go talk about it, because we're not going to talk in front of all of the people that are here. Can a jury get behind the fact that, oh, yeah, he could have gotten into a car? And that makes sense. This guy wanted to confront him and let him know that he's a big, I'm trying, your girl's trying to fuck me and blah, 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 trying to kiss me, blah, blah. If John O'Keefe isn't on the lawn and he's not in the house, where is John O'Keefe? Oh, that makes sense. He would get into a car. Two dudes are going to talk about something. Or, hey, yeah, get in here. Get in the car. I need to talk to you. I'm going to go grab something from the Canton Police Department. Come with me and take a ride with me. The only other option is if John O'Keefe isn't on the lawn and he isn't in the house. We know he's not in Karen's car. She drives away. We know he's not at the house because otherwise he'd be alive today. Where else could he be? And nobody saw Higgins's vehicle when they all arrived, because Higgins's vehicle wasn't there because it left with John O'Keefe, but it came back. It came back, but Karen had already left. That's why Jennifer McCabe is blowing up John O'Keefe, right? Hey, where are you? Park behind me, blah, blah, blah. Dude, play this game and turn and twist their fucking dicks. Dude, the garage court count as not in the house. That garage, though, yes and no, but you want to account for these 3 flights of stairs. And so the way I'm accounting for these 3 flights of stairs is to turn it back onto what Nick Guerrero has said, which is that, oh, you can go up and down hills. Okay, great. So it is possible that John O'Keefe, and that's why he was in far range of the house. So John O'Keefe gets out there, but he immediately is back into a vehicle, and then that vehicle goes off and drives around and play them the way that they've tried to create this. They've already testified. The defense has the upper hand here. Use their words to say, okay, so he could have gotten to a vehicle, and just like how you said he was up and down hills to go like this, he could have done that to get out, right? Like did the same thing, and he would have done the hills, right? You can't rule that out, right? Nope, can't rule that out. So because nobody saw him inside the house and nobody saw him out on the lawn, it's reasonable to think that he got into a vehicle, right? Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Defense doesn't have to prove anything. Yes, exactly. And this is what I'm saying. This is why this is important. We are dealing with jurors. This isn't, well, Lana, but that's not what happened. You guys, we actually have no idea what happened. None of us were there. Okay? None of us were there. But the way that it looks like everything to me is that Karen Reed knew that she was about to be ambushed by these motherfucking pieces of shit. Karen Reed gets pulled away. Jen McCabe is saying what she's saying to her, trying to lure her, right? Outside. I think they're all swingers. Comes outside. But then all of a sudden, Karen Reed goes back because she's trying to get John. And we see them outside of Waterfall, right? And then we hear the testimony of what's her tits, the husband and wife that were the basketball people. Yeah, it was really weird because I saw them, and then next thing I know is I'm pulling away, but I see John and Karen. So, but Karen was being lured out by fucking Jennifer McCabe. It was really weird. So I think Jennifer McCabe said something to Karen Reed on the lines of what's going on with you and Higgins? What's going on with you and Higgins? I heard blah, blah, blah. What's going on with you and Higgins? We've heard this. Now, don't you think that would literally scare the fuck out of Karen Reed? Do you think that Karen Reed wouldn't want to go then into the house at 34 Fairview? Fuck yeah, I wouldn't want to go in there. I'm not going to fucking deal with those idiots that are going to talk about the fact that I've been trying to text with motherfucking Higgins and all these people know it. And I'm going to go into a house? Absolutely not. I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going in there. I personally think that John O'Keefe got out of that car and Karen said something to him and he took the last swig of the glass and then he threw it at Karen Reed's vehicle and it hit and cracked the taillight. That's what I personally think. So take that for what it's worth. Because I know that if she's like, she sees that Higgins is still there, right? Because nobody knew about the whole Higgins and like any of that until trial came. And we were just like, whoa, we had no idea that Karen Reed and Higgins had something. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, dude, think about it. You're about to get called out for cheating. You're going to go into a house and get called out for cheating? I'm not fucking going in there. No, John, we're leaving. We're not doing this. We're leaving. No, it's fine. I'm going to tell these assholes what's up. No, let's just leave. Let's fucking leave. Let's leave. How she could have remembered it while she was drunk, I don't give a shit. But what I'm trying to tell you is that people can forget things when they're drunk, okay? And when you think about things for so long and it's like, yeah, I saw him walking in. I know that he walked into that house. But really, he was walking in and he gets pushed back to say, hey, you and me have to talk, blah, blah, blah. There's just another way that the fucking glass could be broken. And they found the little white broken glass from the cocktail glass that was there in the grass. So think about that. If I fucking whip and throw at the car and I hit and I just ding your little glass up, that would shatter my stupid little cocktail glass, right? And then here, like, it wasn't that even that was planned. It was just like, psh. This girl did not do this shit. No fucking way did this girl do this shit. That's a duh. Karen Reed, I'm saying Occam's razor, guys. these fucking sick bastards frame the fuck out of this girl. But sometimes what ends up happening is that, oh my God, what are the odds that fucking John and Karen, they're arguing, she gets out and whoop. And then he threw it, and so he nicked the glass. Think about that. We all know that. I'm like, oh man, that's true. Like if I was like, man, fuck you. And I go to throw that and I hit your fucking tail light and it dings it just enough to just to crack it, but it fucking shatters my glass. And then there it is. And then whoop. They definitely had words in the way over. Oh, hell yeah, they had words. Absolutely. You guys, these cops broke her taillight to frame somebody who they thought was guilty, right? That's what usually a frame job happens, is when it's you take evidence and you make more of it, okay? To railroad somebody. That's what people do. And that's what it looks like to me. It looks like they framed her. The Sallyport video is what I think would prove that, if they could ever get their hands on the whole thing, is that they did what they did. They busted her shit open and they framed her that way. But what was unfortunate about this whole thing is that I believe that John O'Keefe threw the glass when they were fighting, and it fucking dinged up and it hit her taillight. Then you can even think maybe it would be on accident, but I could see people getting in a fight and you getting out and you slamming the door and somebody rolling down the window and you saying, fuck you, you fucking pervert, right? Boop. No way. You've never done that. You've never thrown something at a vehicle. Glass taillight pieces, no one saw anything initially unseen. No one stepped in anything. Oh no, I don't think that it shattered her glass at all. I think it shattered his glass. That's how his glass was shattered. He threw it. Fuck, he could have thrown it at the vehicle, and that's why there was a little dent in her vehicle. He threw that fucking glass. The glass that he had in his hand, he threw it at her car. He did not throw the glass. How do you know? Were you there? So there was no glass. There was no glass. We all saw him walk out with the glass. Where was the glass? Because this is what I normally do. If I take a glass from a bar, I'm drinking it, and then guess what? I drink it, right? And then I would put it in the cup holder of the car that I'm in, and I'm going to go run in. Nope, he brought it inside. That's what people are saying. He brought it inside. You guys, I'm trying to free Karen Reed. I think that's what everybody's missing with the whole Karen Reed case. Free Karen Reed. As a defendant, you have so many ways to show that they're not proving their case. This could have happened. 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 All these things. But we are missing the victim from 12:26 until 6 o'clock in the morning. Woo! Where is he? Well, I can tell you this. If he's not on the lawn there at 12:26, my client didn't kill him. Because in order for my client to be guilty, he's got to be on that ground at 12:26. And everything the Commonwealth has presented says that they don't even know where their victim was, because everybody they marched through here as a witness has said that he wasn't on the lawn. He wasn't in the house. He wasn't in the lawn and he wasn't in the house. Well, he wasn't with my client and he wasn't back at home to sleep. He wasn't in the SUV that she left in, right? Because he would be alive today. So if he's not in the house and he's not on the lawn and he's not in my client's vehicle, well, then where the fuck is he? And that's not for us to tell you. What they have just proven here is that they don't know where their fucking victim was. That just poof ends up on the lawn. That 13 people have gone by. Nobody saw him. That's it. You're arguing with a couple of people, Lana. I can totally see what you're saying happened. It even could have weakened the tail light, and then the car accidentally cracked it even more. Oh, imagine that. Yes, Lana, maybe people don't get it. John was missing. The Commonwealth has no idea where he's at. Exactly. And the moment that I say, oh my God, no, but Karen Reed saw him go in there. So whatever you're saying is, no, you're going against Karen Reed. I'm like, no, I'm not going against anybody. I'm saying that I am looking this way. Oh my God, I see my significant other about to approach to go inside. She said that she never saw him go inside. What makes sense to motherfucking me is that those fucking piranhas are seeing this because they're all watching outside of the fucking house, right? And that somebody would have met him right at the door, which would have been Higgins, right? Hey, I got to talk to you. We got to talk. Your girlfriend is a fucking hoe, and we're going to talk about it. She's done this. Get in the car. We got to talk. I'm going to pick up some liquor because they only have beer here, so ride with me. And then here we go. Use then Nick to say, oh, the reason he's hitting all those places and going up those hills. Put him in a vehicle, y'all. Then those two get into it. Higgins, remember how Alan Jackson was like, did anybody look at your car? Did anybody look at your plow? Could those, there's no DNA, right? Dog DNA on these scratches. These scratches could also go with a plow truck on how they could scrape somebody, right? Okay. Let's take a ride. Let's go. I got to go get some fucking liquor because I'm not drinking this beer. Okay. I'm not drinking this fucking shitty ass beer with fucking Brian's gay son. Okay. So get in the car. And then Karen Reed sees that and she's like, you fucking pervert. Like, she's like, oh, fuck that. Or she doesn't see it, right? Because I always wondered this, guys. This is what's always bothered me. I have no problem saying it because I want to understand it, right? If I'm Karen Reed and I'm in the car and my boyfriend is saying, I'm going to go see if we're invited, goes to the house. I see him approach the house. I don't see him go in, but I see him approach the door. Because I look away because what? There has to be a reason I looked away. Oh God, fucking Higgins is here. Fuck. That would get me to look away. Oh, fuck. Higgins is here. Fuck. So I look away. Right? Okay. Then I look away, I look down at my phone, and I just get on, I start, scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm looking at the stories that are coming through, right? Because I'm like, oh, fucking A, here we go, right? Then I look back. Then after 20 seconds, I look back, and John's not there, so I think that he's inside the house, right? Awesome. Then these fucking idiots come pull up behind me, right? But before they pull up behind me, I don't see that John had gotten into Higgins's vehicle, and as he's turning on his lights to do whatever, whether Higgins is in the driveway, because I believe he was in the driveway. So John gets in Higgins's Jeep, whatever vehicle. I think he was in a Cherokee only because he slips up on the stand to talk about some Cherokee, even though he has a Wrangler. Nobody would ever fucking call their Jeep Wrangler ever in a million years a fucking Cherokee. That's an embarrassment to any Wrangler motherfucking owner. Then, so Karen Reed doesn't see any of this. Karen Reed thinks he's in the fucking house. They then leave in the truck. Okay? They then leave in his little Wrangler. Because Higgins wants to go get liquor because he doesn't drink beer. Just like he said. They then get into it. Whether they get into it on the way to wherever they were going to pick something up, on the way back, outside of the vehicle, it doesn't fucking matter. They get into it. Karen then is already she's left. She's like, what the fuck, you fucking pervert? But this is what doesn't make sense to me. If my boyfriend, live-in boyfriend, I'm here at the house, I just was shocked that Karen Reed never called his phone while sitting there waiting for him. Don't you think? Higgy, have a bottle of Jamie at CPD. That makes sense to me. But I've always wondered this. Like, she just left, right? So then they got me back to thinking, right? About that glass. About why would she never text him to say, what are you doing? Are you coming? I'm leaving. What the fuck is going on? I would call his phone. I would text him. But why would she just up and leave without saying something? Up and until she gets to the house, right? Up and until she gets to the house, right? Yeah, not calling before leaving is wild, right? But there has to be a reason for that, right? So think about it. Think about it. Why? Why would she pull up and wait, then not call or text before leaving, and then only to call or text when she gets there? This is what people think, that was like guilty because then she got home and then she makes it seem like blah, 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 right? And I'm not on that train. I don't think that she was trying to make it seem like anything. I think that she was saying every word that she thought. You fucking pervert. Think about that. You fucking pervert. You fucking pervert. Like, those aren't like words of like, you fucking dickhead, you fucking cocksucking motherfucker. You pervert. Pervert. You know what that means? Pervert's a very interesting word to use. Yes, he came out and threw the glass and got into Higgins's car. Yeah, now we're talking. And that's why. Oh, you don't believe me? Let me show you. I got my work phone up there at fucking Canton. I will show you her text messages with me. I will show you us calling each other. Ride with me. Let me go get my other car up at Canton, and I'll show you my phone. Fucking your girl has been calling me, texting me, blah, blah, blah. Let me go get my other motherfucking phone. Let me show you this. I think that the Canton time is off. I don't think that the Canton time stamps are accurate. But he doesn't get to Canton until, whatever, right? Because I believe he went up to Canton to see if Karen had called up at all. I also think that he went there to grab something. I personally believe that he went up there to grab something. I do. And I've thought about it for a long time. Like, okay, if I was Higgins, what would I do? Well, first of all, she's dogged me. I texted her when we were at the bar and she didn't text me back. She's been dogging me, right? And so if I'm a drunk fat fuck, what would I do? Well, I'm going to make a scene and I'm going to ruin her night. Just like, I'm like thinking, oh God, you fucked us. Like, I don't want this guy to think that I'm trying to bone his girl when it was her ass trying to bone me to make him jealous because he was trying to get with the Sullivan bimbos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of bullshit I see. And I don't think that Karen did a damn thing to that man. Not a damn thing. And I think that Karen kept it all hush hush because she was like, well, I don't think Higgins is going to say anything because it will make him look guilty if he says anything, right? So she keeps her mouth shut. Hey, I didn't think Higgins was going to say anything because it's going to put him with John, the last person with John. So I never said anything about it. And I'm revealing this to my lawyer. And my lawyer's like, oh, and she's like, here, this. Like, I never thought he would say anything. I didn't think that he did anything. He's over here. But I left because I didn't want to deal with all their fucking bullshit because of where this was headed. Because Jen McCabe says whatever to me in the parking lot, which was about, hey, we know that you're hitting up Higgins. What the fuck's going on? Like, what's like, and then she's like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, oh, hell no. Your bartender days have trained you to read people, Anna. Just think about this. I'm trying to play out a scenario for you guys to understand how the fuck John O'Keefe is dead today. It was the perfect storm for that man. Like, the legit perfect goddamn storm. Karen Reed did not kill John O'Keefe. Karen Reed did not kill John O'Keefe. Remember when they said Richie and them came and they pulled up and Higgins's vehicle was not right there parked at the mailbox? Then I found out that Brian Alberts' daughter drove a Cherokee. When I found that out, I said, oh, hell to the no. This motherfucker at some point in some time was either in a Cherokee, okay, drove a Cherokee because he slipped up on the stand and said the word Cherokee. You would never, as a Wrangler owner, ever say that you had a Jeep Cherokee when you were a motherfucking Jeep Wrangler owner. Never would that come out. But Brian Albert's daughter had a Jeep Cherokee. Funny. Now think about this. Jen and John O'Keefe's phone, they're communicating, right? Like, she's texting him, they text back, then she calls him. Then she says, oh, I didn't realize that I called them and I must have butt dialed him. And that's why that 1229 call. You remember all that bullshit, right? Well, I can tell you this. We all know that Jen McCabe's phone did not call Higgins to say, like, you know, where'd you go, right? But also everybody forgets that Jennifer McCabe's phone never called Karen Reed. Never called Karen Reed. Never, and then then Jen McCabe's phone never contacted or called, what's his name? John O'Keefe to say, hey, I just saw you. Where are you? Or, hey, did you guys leave? Like, you didn't come by, like, fuck you or whatever. Like, that's what I would be saying to a friend that was supposed to meet me. I'd be like, where the fuck are you? I just saw you. Did you leave? Nothing. And so I thought about it more and more and more and more and more. And if you go back and you look at Jennifer McCabe's text messages to him, right? They created all night a story of how those text messages were going to play out all the next day. It makes sense to me that another guy would confront another guy because, hey, your girl is trying to fucking get with me, but you're my boy and I fucked up. So let me tell you about this. And people try to get in front of things all the time. And I think Higgins would be that person. He's drunk. He's trying to get in front of, with John and blah, blah, blah. But this is what doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would Karen drive over there? If Jen McCabe truly says something to her in the parking lot, right? About, hey, what the fuck's going on with you and Higgins? We heard about that. You'd want to run from that. You wouldn't want to go over to the Albert's house where all these people are going to be after you just heard about that people know about you and Higgins. You're not going there. The fuck? I'm not going. That is not happening, right? That is not happening. What in the hell did she even see in Higgins? Good Lord. But think about how bad Higgins, he referred to her as the defendant. He didn't say her name. He said the defendant, blah, 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 right? And then think about this. Higgins didn't get this information in the morning when Brian Albert called. He didn't text Karen and say, oh my God, hey, where are you? I'm so sorry. Or not even say the word sorry, but to like text her and say like, hey, what's going on? Brian just told me blah, blah, blah. So go back and watch the questioning of, and I think it's going to come from round 2 here, asking Higgins, why didn't you text Karen after you talked to Brian Albert in the morning? Why wouldn't you have texted Karen or texted fucking John, right? You texted Karen last night, but now you hear about this and you don't text her. Why not? I'm talking about when you would have been at your home at 6:30 in the morning when you say that you woke up and you called Brian Higgins or you called Brian Albert back. Okay. If that's the girl you're trying to fucking get with and bang and be with and whatever, if you have nothing to do with anything, it's just so innocent to be like, oh my God, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean John was on the lawn? Okay, did you guys talk to Karen? What the fuck? We're like, they didn't even show up. I didn't even see them. You know what I mean? Because Higgins is over here like, I didn't even see them. Well, Jen McCabe's over here like, oh, I saw them. I saw them drive up there. I was over here. Fuck all that. No way. I don't believe that Higgins spent the night at his own home that night. I believe that Higgins spent the night in Canton at the address 34 Fairview. Like, you're going to have to move me off of that. Higgins and Brian Albert are the ones that would have you don't bring people into something that aren't part of something, right? You understand that? You don't call like the outside people that you can't, okay, if there's people that can make a problem go away, that's different. But like, you're not going to bring people into something that aren't part of something. So when people say, okay, well, who put the body out there, right? Well, duh. That's 150% Brian Higgins and Brian Albert. Like, period. You just have to ask the jury, how did John O'Keefe end up on the lawn? Because he wasn't there when my client left at 12:26, right? 12:28, right? And if she would have hit him at 12:26 or 12:28 p.m., everybody would have seen it. Everybody would have seen like her actually do it. I've thought about it so much. Okay, what would I do? All right, I have beef with the guy. He gets out of the vehicle. He comes into the house. I then say, yo, we're going to have some words. Yo, bro, blah, blah, blah. I got to go pick up some liquor because they only have beer anyways. Let's go. You know. The issue I have though with that happening like immediately to like get in the car and go and drive is that his phone doesn't make any more movements. Like his phone moves from it's moving and then it stops, and then after 5 minutes it moves again for like 40 steps, okay? And it doesn't move again. And so what makes sense to me is that those last 40 steps, clearly they didn't put him on, you know, on the lawn by the road, but it would seem that he came in. That's why him and Jen McCabe. So he's just like, okay, I saw John. So like, let's look at from Karen. Okay, he goes up to the side door. Do I see him go in? Like, no, I don't see him, but like that's where he's headed, right? So let's say that he gets to the door, maybe has some words with Jen McCabe for a second there. Higgins and what's his dick were downstairs in the basement looking at pictures, right? So they come back up. And when they come back up, right, they're right there with Johnny Boy. And then if McCabe herself was like, I got to go to the bathroom type of thing or whatever the fuck she's doing, I would just think a girl would be like, oh, where's Karen? Oh, Karen's outside. She didn't know if we can come. She didn't know if we were invited. You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck yeah, you're invited. Or would it be something like this? Hey, no, she just want to make sure you're invited. Then does Jen take it upon herself to say, yeah, oh my God, you guys are both invited, but I got to tell you something. You do know that like she's totally hitting up Higgins, right? Like, we love you to death, John, and we just have to tell you the truth. Like, you're our good pal, buddy. Like, we love you and you've been through so much and we just can't see you be with somebody that's a fucking, you know, blah, blah, blah. Come on. That's exactly what Jen McCabe would do. She's doing that to 10-year-olds. Okay, his nephew, all right? Of course she fucking said something like that, especially if John would have said, well, we don't know if Karen didn't know if we were invited and blah, blah. Oh, of course, Karen, little fucking hoity-toity, like bitch. And then Jen McCabe just goes on her fucking little rant, right? So if Jen and John's phone, they meet up at the same time and then both of their phones aren't moving. His doesn't move for 5 minutes. Hers doesn't move for 10, okay, at the same time, when everybody presumes that he's inside the house. And then if Jen McCabe is the one that breaks the news to John about this whole Higgins thing, right? Because Higgins told Brian Albert, right? And Brian Albert told Nicole, and Nicole told Jen, right? So then here we are. Jen, who is just a fucking cunt, tells, oh, hell yeah, like, we fucking hate that broad. She's an outsider. We're going to tell John about the fact that she is doing XYZ and trying to get into Higgins's fucking pants, right? What do you think John is going to do? What do you think John's going to do about that? Because again, this is where my issue lies. My issue lies with, okay, Karen knows though what she's done, right? So Karen internally knows this. And this is why you wouldn't call. Is if Jen says something to you, maybe nonchalant, so then you get it in your head like, oh my God, then you kind of like see Higgins and you're just like, oh my God, that fucking asshole, he's here. I didn't think he would be here because Jen said, oh no, Higgins isn't coming. Fuck that asshole. Like, we don't care about him. They had some talk at the fucking bar when they were outside. So she's like fine with going there, right? And then all of a sudden she sees fucking Higgins, his vehicle there, or she sees his fat ass. But she doesn't say it to John why she doesn't want to go. And she just says, I don't think that we were invited. I don't think that we were invited. Okay, well, I'll go and ask. You know, like I'm trying to play out these scenarios where if you're a girl, how would you be when you're like, oh, fuck, I can't have my boyfriend talking to the guy that I fucking am texting, you know? Think about it. You don't want that interaction, right? But more importantly, you're not going to go in there if you're Karen Reed and get fucking, I'm not going to go in there and be berated by these fucking pieces of shit. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to say shit and I'm going to leave. And then when I get home, I'm going to run my mouth at you like you're a fucking pervert, right? Exactly. If I'm Karen Reed, I'm not going in that house with that situation. Hell to the motherfucking no, right? Exactly. That's exactly the most compelling part is that Karen Reed knew about the whole Higgins and that he just had texted her and, you know, fuck this goddamn asshole. He won't stop, you know. I'm not going in that house. I'm not gonna, no way. That's like 10 on 1. I'm gonna leave. And that's why you would have left and not have asked John shit, right? Don't, da, da, da. But then when you get home, you say, you fucking pervert, you're fucking another girl. Well, that's straight up deflection. That's exactly what anybody would do if they're a female. Oh, you fucking pervert, you're fucking somebody else and blah, blah, right? And that's what people do when they've been doing something, right? And that's what makes sense to me. So is Karen Reed guilty of murder? Fuck no. Karen Reed is guilty of payback. Payback. You fucking did a dick move in damn Aruba with those fucking bimbos, right? Well, let's see how you like it. And here, what if I was to talk to this dude and blah, blah, blah. Karen Reed had no interest in Higgins. What the fuck soever, right? She used him to try to make John jealous. Duh. That's what people do. It's clear as fucking day. But so she made a phone call and said, you fucking pervert, because she was getting, you know, ahead of what already like, oh, you did this and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're already like, think about it. Like, that's exactly what that was. So then, like every fucking girl does, okay, he's not picking up. He's not even texting. Like, this motherfucker isn't even saying to me, fuck you, Karen. I can't believe that you fucking, you know, you were fucking hooking up with Higgins. Like, this motherfucker is not answering, right? Think about this. I think the whole pervert thing comes because of like the whole young age. I want to know how old that Sullivan girl is. So But here, John's not even answering, right? Karen's calling. He's not answering. It's like, okay, like he's not even like fucking talking shit to me. He's not saying shit to me, right? Which is not normal after I saw the interaction, because then I went and checked it out and I saw that, oh, well, John used Karen and got her to come over that night, be her basically taxi so that he can go out and drink in Canton. And he was relying on her to be his Uber. And even Karen said, well, why can't so-and-so, that dude he was with, drop you off? Like, and it was like he wanted his, cake and eat it too. So he lied about all that. And then Karen did what every girl does. Okay, I'm going to leave. Hey, I left. I'm leaving. No one's there with your kids, blah, blah, blah. Every girl's done that, period. It's like fucking. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me. Like, this is a little squibble, blah, blah. But what tells me when John becomes immediately incapacitated had to literally be right away, you guys. Right away. John didn't have a chance to text Karen and say, you fucking bitch. You understand that? Think about that. John never had a chance to text Karen. That's what everybody needs to focus on, is that John didn't even have a chance to text Karen or answer that call when she gets home, which would have been at 12:36, So he's already incapacitated. He's already taken over. He's not with his phone, right? We know that his phone can't possibly be in his pocket because then it would have been keeping up with like steps and stuff like that. We know that when your phone isn't moving, there's two reasons. You're either sitting down, your phone's on, it's in a charger, or your phone could be in your car or a car and you're driving around. So therefore there's no steps being, but when his phone moves those last 40 motherfucking steps, it's because his ass was put in a motherfucking car. I believe that John O'Keefe walked into that house, met by Jen. Jen told him about, oh my God, Karen's fucking hitting up Higgins. Then Higgins and fucking Brian Albert come from downstairs to upstairs, okay? Downstairs in the basement. They were looking at pictures. Comes from upstairs with the dog, right? Comes from upstairs. And then Higgins sees this dude about to enter the house, right? And meets him right there at the motherfucking door. And that's so why John's phone it does this whole called 3 flights of stairs, right? People can say, oh, well, because you just come right in and you go right downstairs, right? Oh, they're downstairs, go downstairs. But then, guys, this is what doesn't make sense. If you go right downstairs, right, and he goes in the basement, right, then what, somebody just grabbed his phone and just ran upstairs with it and then ran back down? I mean, think about that for a minute. You just really need to think about that. These 3 flights of stairs happen within 3 minutes. So you think John O'Keefe was running up and down the stairs? And so the only thing that I thought is when Brian Albert said that he used the bathroom on the main level when he came home, he was in the bathroom, right? So that means if John O'Keefe comes in, he's like, dude, I gotta fucking pee. And Sugar tits. Oh, fucking, he's in that bathroom. Just go upstairs. So John O'Keefe goes upstairs to use the bathroom upstairs on the fucking first floor. I mean, on the top floor. Pisses in there, right? Then if one of these people, aka Jen McCabe, truly liked John O'Keefe, I said after he goes upstairs to pee, then Jen's meeting him upstairs. Okay, but remember he has to make 2 more flights. And to tell him something. Or then if John just comes back downstairs, then if he goes to the basement, that'd be 1, 2, 3. If Apple is going to testify that, yeah, you could actually make elevations, or they could be like, you could be descending. That has to be all cleared up. But for the purposes of the trial, I would just say that he got into a vehicle and that he drove off with Higgins, and that his little loop-de-loop 3 flights happened while he was driving with Higgins. That's all I would say. If anybody wants to say, okay, it was a surprise attack, you guys, surprise attack for what? Surprise attack for what? If he was lured over there, then this truly has nothing to do with Karen Reed and Higgins ever hooking up, which means, hey, we need to lure this motherfucker over here because he knows a bunch of shit and we're going to kill him. That would be premeditated murder. And to me, this doesn't seem like premeditated murder to me. This seems like the worst botch job in America, okay? This seems like 2 dudes or multiple dudes ganging up on one person and them saying, yeah, we beat the shit out of him. He's not going to fucking tell anybody anything. Okay? And so then I thought about it, right? Who sent Higgins to the Canton Police Department? Because if you got in a fight with fucking, let's say that Higgins is over there like, dude, stop, don't hit him, like, whatever, like, ease up, like, whatever. And Higgins thinks that you guys let John go, right? Because he was fine. He stumbled out a little bit. But then somebody had to pick him up and put him into something, because then Higgins is like, where the fuck's John? Oh, I don't know. Maybe he walked off to the Canton Police Department. I don't fucking know. So Higgins goes over there to say, like, no, he hasn't been there all night. Like, what the fuck? He didn't report us. We have his phone, so he couldn't have called anybody. So where is this motherfucker? Right? So then you have to ask yourselves, did people in that house lie to Higgins, all right, and make it seem like, you know, they kind of just threw John out and fucking he'll go walk it, you know, whatever. It's just, why the fuck would you go to the Canton Police Department? They have cameras. Why would you go there? What were you going there for? To find out if Karen called the cops? Why would Karen call the cops, guys? Think about it. Karen thinks that these people, for all we know, they would never. Why would Karen call the cops? Hey, I'm going to call the cops and say, hey, my boyfriend didn't come in the car with me. Think about that. That's fucking that's crazy, y'all. They would never think, oh God, we got to make sure that Karen didn't call the cops. Why the fuck would Karen call the cops? Why would Karen, though, call the cops? Karen wouldn't call the cops. None of them would think, though, that Karen would call the cops, right? So what do we need from the Canton Police Department? God, it's interesting that you say this. Well, I need to put my motherfucking vehicle. I need to put my vehicle somewhere. I'm playing parking lot. Why would I gotta put my vehicle somewhere? Well, because it has a fucking dude in it. And it has a dude in it. And I know that it's safe there. Because no one, like, it's just safe there for a little bit. I don't fucking know. Do I have to put my fucking vehicle there because it has goddamn John O'Keefe in it for a little bit? I don't know. they just think that John O'Keefe got his ass beat and he's going to wake up and he'll be fine. I don't know. I know people think that he went there to create an alibi. An alibi for what, though? It would be after the fact. It's very interesting. Because Karen Reed, this is what's so crazy to me. Karen Reed, right? Think about this, you guys. Think. If I'm Karen Reed, I know where my boyfriend is. I would have to know or think if I'm Jen McCabe, if I'm Matt McCabe, if I'm any of these motherfuckers, right? That Karen knows where John's at. She's going to be able to tell them, yeah, I dropped him off there. Like what the fuck? What are we gonna do, guys? Like, what? Why wouldn't they think that Karen Reed would go there at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, like looking like he didn't come home, he's not answering his phone? I'm just gonna go back over there, right? And go get him. Wouldn't you think that she would show back up and come back and get him? Think about that. If Karen Reed is as like helicopter as y'all motherfucker want to say, like, why didn't Karen Reed get back in the car and go get him? Why didn't she go back over to 34 Fairview? Because I don't think that Karen Reed thought that he was still there, y'all. Which makes sense that he got into a vehicle, y'all. Which makes sense that she says, you're a fucking pervert and you're fucking some other girl. Right? Maybe. Because why wouldn't Karen Reed go the fuck back over to 34 fucking Fairview? I have no reason to go there because I saw my motherfucking man get into a motherfucking car with Higgins, right? And then him and Higgins go driving around. I'm just saying, if you're Karen Reed, why the fuck wouldn't you go back to 34 Fairview if you're like, you know where he's at? Like, he's there. You watched him go in there, right? Just go there and go knock on the door and say, where is fucking John? Right? Hey, I'm here to pick up John. His niece and nephew are looking for him. The reason that you wouldn't go there, you guys, is because you don't think that he is there and you don't know where he is. And that makes sense with when she woke up and she's like, where the fuck is John? He would never not come home. And she had no reason to think that he was at 34 Fairview because what? She knew that he left from there. She had no reason to think that he was there. Who said to go back over to her sister's house and let's go over there? I'm just saying, start back from the beginning and truly think about it from the standpoint of like, if you're a girlfriend, what would you have done? And I'm saying, for me, if I would have called, I come home, motherfucker isn't there, I wake up in the morning, like, if she was drunk, I think that she would have passed out and she would have gotten up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, usually people that are drinking, they pass out and they're not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning wondering, or 4:30, wondering where the fuck somebody is. So I think that that's interesting. Like, why was she? And then it all comes back to she knows about the Higgins. She knows about Higgins. You have a reason to be up when you're wondering, you're calling your boyfriend, he's not answering, and the last person that you know that he's with is with the guy that you were trying to text and kiss and bang. Or like, who's going to make it seem that way? I always wondered why Karen Reed came out and said that I saw him go into the house, or he was walking up to the door but he didn't go in. Remember that whole big thing when she's like, I saw him go up to the door, but I didn't see him go in. Remember that? And that always because I think she's telling the truth. I don't think that Karen is being deceptive with that. There's a difference though between telling the truth and telling all of the truth. And I think it's because I'm not going to talk about the whole Higgins thing. I'm not going to talk about all of that. But you know damn well, right, when she got David Yannetti, she told David Yannetti exactly what happened. And I think that she knew right away when then she told her parents about everything. Right? In terms of in the morning, not in the middle of the night like these motherfuckers are talking about. Anybody that has a brain in their head, right? And John's over here on the goddamn lawn and she's like, what the fuck? The fuck is going on here? How is John on the lawn? I didn't hear Karen Reed say, did I hit him? Did I hit him? I didn't even hear any of that. We have all this dash cam. We have all this. She didn't say anything like that. I would totally agree with that. Honestly, sickest part is they had Karen half believing she might have, could have. I think that what they had Karen believing is that I think she said, could he have been hit by a plow, right? And I think it's because they put that in her mind that he could have been hit by a plow. Could I have hit him? Wait, could I have hit him? I couldn't have hit him. That means that that's coming from what they would have said to her. I think that their plan is to say that he was hit by a plow. That was their original plan, you guys. Their original plan was to say that he got hit by a plow. And that's why they had him out on the side of the lawn. And they thought about it for a long time on how this was going to happen. And that's why there was this snow embankment that he was in. Because it was going to be like the fucking snow, right? May create it plowed and it hit him while he was leaving the house, because at first they were going to say that he had arrived to the house, right? Because we have no idea what actually the communication was between Carrie Roberts, Jen McCabe, and Karen. These people are sick as fuck. That's all I know. This I agree. Plow hit was their initial intended story, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yepers. He said he got there first. I can just tell you this, that nobody was plowing anything. There was no snow on the ground. So Carrie called Canton PD before Carrie met up with Karen. Yep, she sure did. Isn't that wild? What do you think about that? I want to know what you guys think about who was Higgins on the phone with, because if you think it was Brian Albert, you're wrong. I don't think that Higgins called Brian Albert at 1:34 in the morning. I think it was somebody else. At first, I thought it was to say, yeah, no, she hasn't called up here. Nobody's called up here. At first, I thought it was that. And then I said, nope, you know what? Why the fuck would we ever think that she would call the Canton Police Department? It doesn't make any sense. We would never, that's not where my mind would go. My mind would be worried about that she's going to come to the house looking for John. So we need to get John the fuck up out of here. John can't be here. So then I was like, oh, hot damn, I think he was in that motherfucking car in your plane parking lot. You know, I said, you cannot keep him there, because if Karen comes back there, she's going to say, what are you talking about? I just fucking dropped him off here. He doesn't have a vehicle. What are you talking about? I've been calling. This is where his Find My Phone is at, you know, Find My iPhone. You guys think about this. Think about it in the terms of if Karen Reed wanted to be a psycho girlfriend, right? His iPhone is pinging here, y'all. Fuck you. This is where his phone's at. You know, think about all this shit. They would be paranoid as fuck. So they would have to get John the fuck up out of there and then bring him the fuck back. That's why I believe that he went to the Canton Police Department, because that was a safe spot for him. And so they decided what was going to happen. Or else, I mean, and then if John was to quote unquote wake up, he's at the police department. You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about the fact that we know now that they could have just destroyed all in any of those videos, right? So how do we know that Higgins didn't go back to actually Canton Police Department with John in the car, whatever vehicle he took there to play parking lot with? And that's where Alan Jackson was going with it. Did the Canton police or did anybody ever ask to see your car, look at your plow, anything like that? Why do you think he was asking those questions? So when Karen Reed wakes up in the morning and she calls Carrie Robert, then Carrie calls the Canton Police Department, right? That's how I have it in my notes. So all the blood is in Higgins' Jeep. I think so. I think the blood, I do. I think it's in a car. I 100% think the blood's in a car. You guys, these people would have thought that Karen was coming back to that house. Okay? We have to think that Karen knows where John's at, right? So it's only a matter of time until she comes there, right? So then my question is why the fuck did she call Carrie Roberts? And how was Carrie Roberts awake to answer that call? So then that got me even thinking more. And I'm like, I think Carrie Roberts was at the fucking house. Everybody's just always said, oh, these are the only people there. Why are we believing these people to say that these are the only people there? Fuck all you motherfuckers. If Karen woke up in the morning and she called Carrie Roberts, why? Why did she call Carrie Roberts? Why? There was way more people at that fucking house, y'all. I'm telling you. she called Carrie Roberts because she's like, hey, where is John? I don't know why. What are you asking me where John is? Well, John didn't come home last night. And you were at the fucking Albert. You know, how do we know what the fuck? Do you know what lawyers tell their clients all the time, guys? Lawyers tell their clients, we can't tell the truth about some things sometimes because it will make it look like that you weren't being honest about something, or it will bring more questions than answers. So this you cannot talk about. Carrie was a non-Canton link to John, went back to Braintree. Karen trusted her more than Canton crew. But my question is that why didn't Karen Reed just go over there? And what she needs to say is, because I'm not going over to a cop's house because that guy is bad fucking news. Normally what people would think, you guys, in a world, okay, how about this? In a normal investigation, if I was investigating this case and I was like, I'm going to sit all of these fucking assholes down, right? And I'm going to get all these stories out of them. And so now we get to the point that let's all say that they told us what we know today. I would think for a minute, until it was disproven, that Higgins and Karen could have possibly planned something like this together. Does that make sense? You understand? You have the boyfriend of the girlfriend, and then you have the girlfriend's fucking hoe named Higgins. In a case of when you would hear all these people out, if you're truly investigating, you would say, wait a second, you were with John, but you were trying to get with Higgins? And then Higgins texts you the night of and says, what's up, what's going on, or whatever. But you never write back. Anybody who would be investigating this and like getting all the information out of all these people, and why is John on the lawn? Why is John the fuck beat up? Why does John look like he's went 10 rounds? Right. I just think it's interesting. Because if this was any other case, it would be like why didn't she maybe take him out? Because they're not married and there's no life insurance policy. Maybe that's why. Okay. Jen is an awful what? Jen's sick. For me, the best part about this would have been is if Karen would have went back to that house. She knew John was there. Why didn't she ever go back there? Oh, wait, it's because Karen knew that John left there. She never thought that he went back there. She didn't know where he went, and that's why she called him and said the things that she said. You guys, when I was in that trial watching that, and I heard about the fact that, holy shit, that Karen Reed and Higgins had this thing, and that Higgins was over there watching the Patriots game and broke a fucking stupid ass remote. And I'm just like, oh my God. And like, then it was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that we're dealing with like 18-year-old stuff. So let's think about what 18-year-olds would have done. And you'll solve the case if you think like an 18-year-old. If you think like an 18-year-old, you'll solve the case. Because that's what it was. It was 18-year-old stupid bullshit. 18-year-olds fighting, just like fucking, Colin. Why would it be such a big deal if Colin was there if he didn't do anything? Allie McCabe lying her tits off, man. That girl lied so much in these your 360 life bubble, bitch. Are you out of your mind? Oh, well, I thought I went home and I must have just went home. Like, do you guys know what that life 360 bubble is all about? All that means is that when you drive outside of a certain point, it bursts your bubble and it notifies your parents that you are outside of your alleged driving area, you fucks. That's what it means. And so I can't believe that Yannetti is doing the cross and doesn't know what a bubble means. A bubble is an area that if your kid drives out of that area, your bubble bursts, okay? And it notifies your parents, or if you want to do that to your significant other, it notifies them that you are out of the area. And so that's what that means. But it should have recorded her actual driving. And then what it also does is if you drive outside of the bubble, it bursts. But what it does is to not hey, we don't want you to totally monitor your kids. So if it's inside this bubble, we can't exactly see where you go. That way, we're not totally monitoring you. Okay. But if you go outside that bubble, it bursts. So it's if parents want to say listen, I'm going to let my kid be in this radius, which is our neighborhood, which is if you're at such and such house, whatever, blah, blah. So this is a radius that I put out there. But it's not going to tell me exactly where you are. That way that I can't monitor you completely. Okay? Well, I have a couple of things to say to those type of parents that want to do that. Why can't your kid tell you where they're at? You know what I mean? I'm not going to put up no bubble so that my kid can think about when we were younger. We told our parents, hey, I'm going to Susie's house tonight. That's where I'm sleeping over. Hey, we're then going to the roller rink. Hey, then we'll be home. Susie's dad's picking us up and we'll be home by 10. Okay? Can you guys believe that they're making apps that here you can put your kid on your Life 360 app, but you can give them a bubble so that you can't really know where they're at, but because you're trying to, make it seem like you're not basically stalking them, but it's 2025. Fucking people are killing people like crazy. But why would we want to use this to our advantage? But here, if they leave outside this bubble, it'll notify you, and then you're going to know right where they're at. And I was like, well, can't you just pop the bubble on your own? And I said, well, fuck the bubble like that. Wouldn't the app itself know if we subpoenaed it? Just because I can't tell on the app, there's got to be a way to know where that broad went. Right? And then I said, well, where's Jen McCabe's Life 360? Where's Jen McCabe's Life 360? How was that never subpoenaed? I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that I think that Higgins got into his vehicle. I think that John O'Keefe got into a vehicle. I think he was hidden in a vehicle for a period of time. That makes sense to me. It makes sense to me with how the blood is or isn't. It makes sense to me about vomit. It makes sense to me about a lot of things. It makes sense to me you have to hide this person because if somebody comes over here, what the fuck? We're fucked. We have to hide him. until the last possible moment that we decide to put him out on the lawn. Atlanta, you actually were feeling you bad for when that started. What? Atlanta, and you actually were feeling you bad for her. Oh, I feel bad for any kid that ever has to take the stand, because people are putting people in those type of situations. If you wouldn't have such shitbag parents, like, I could still feel bad for you. Like, you have shitbag parents that are your example. Why would they sell the dog, the basement, and the house? I'll tell you this. Where's this floor that Karen Reed speaks of that she got and then preserved all this stuff? And I can just tell you how, like, you'd want to test all that stuff, because degraded DNA is not worth a damn. Day before preservation order, right? Destroyed both Brian's phones. Yep. They're being tipped off at every chance. The prosecution was like, yeah. Who'd want to live in a house where a man lost his life? You know, I do think the gash on John O'Keefe's head, I've always said this, it looks like it could be like from like a dumbbell, you know, the gash on the back of his head. But it could also be that you knocked somebody and they fell into the end of a plow. So there's that. You know, and everybody was trying to feed it down my throat, because I said, I want to do this case on my own. I want to take the timeline and I want to build it out. Okay. I don't want to hear people's theories. I want to work this case from my own things. And I said, okay, it looks like it could be the end of a dumbbell if somebody took it and whacked him over the head with it, right? Which to me seems like really pussy ass bitch shit. I said, or so I do think it was the plow. So I think that if you really want to talk about, like, could it be a dumbbell? Sure. And I said, he could have been hit and he could have fell back into the edge of, remember when Alan Jackson was asking him how Higgins had his plow? Was it right in front, like straight down? Was it tilted? So, plow Mac Dickles. Very possible. Okay, so the question is that's a great question. Real question is why did they pin it on the girl instead of just calling it a man passed out in the snow? Well, I always ask this. If you are so protected, why wouldn't we got into a fight, whatever, here, take him in and whatever, like he's not like O'Keefe's not gonna be a little bitch and like rat us, you know what I mean? Like we can just work with it is what it is. And that's where Jen McCabe's Google comes in handy when she says, "House long to die in the cold," because I think that she was wondering that. Okay. I don't think that anybody said this to her to Google to see anything. I think that she was legit wondering that because of what the plan was. And then she's like, house long to die in the cold. But if you think about how early she texted that at what 2:20, what was it, 6? It's because that's when they were going to be placing him out there. But I think it's crazy to think that they didn't think that Karen would go back there. And that's what kind of lets me know that they kind of thought that she would. Like, we have to hide him for a little bit, but yet we got to put him back somewhere. And what I kind of just wonder is why didn't they put him on a different lawn and make it seem like he was walking? You know what I mean? That he was like walking to like leave. Like, why put him on their own lawn? Well, because they're the ones that could have controlled then the narrative. Because if they put him on a different lawn, like everyone wants to say, like, well, that's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard to frame somebody and put him on, my own lawn. Well, no, it's not. Because if it would have been on somebody else's lawn, you're dealing with a lot of, do they have cameras? How are we going to place them somewhere? You're able to actually control the fuck out of that narrative. And that's why I laugh when people say, like, well, that's just the dumbest frame job I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, no, it's not. We can control it all. It's my house, and these are the people that are around it, and we can just do a lot of things. If we go and put them off at a different house, then we have to deal with all these other cameras that could be on our road. But what tells me that the fix was in with the Canton police from the get-go is that nobody was walking around to any of those houses trying to preserve anything. It was just like, there's John O'Keefe is on the lawn, and hey, you're not asking these friends of yours, oh my God, how the fuck is O'Keefe, one of our officers, on the lawn? Oh my God, we were all like, just think about it from the standpoint of like that. There's no way these cops and these firefighters and everybody's, so they need to reword questions to say, y'all knew who John O'Keefe was, and you guys are just fine with finding him on a lawn. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What is up, Scotty? How are you? My belief also the fix was in before Canton police arrived. Yeah, 100. 100. And that's why I think Good's a piece of shit. Goody, or whatever the fuck he calls himself. Those new coming in, Lana 100% believes Karen is innocent. She is posing different scenarios to get an innocent verdict. Yes, I definitely am doing that. And I think the biggest thing to do is just to let all of these people seem credible, because then you can ask the Commonwealth why they brought in all of these witnesses to prove to the jury that they don't know where their victim was from 12:30 until 6 o'clock in the morning. And that why their victim has a jacket on when every picture and every video that we have, John O'Keefe doesn't have a jacket. So somebody put the jacket on him. Matt McCabe, according to Sarah Livingston, didn't have his jacket on, had to go back inside. Who knows what jacket he came then back out in. People are having such a hard time with saying, oh, the police framed people. So then fuck them and give it back to them. Like say, okay, here, we'll play your game against you, you know? And that's why I think that if you take this right here,
firefighting structural gear, out with ambulance one, just in the event that there was an emergency. And as I was doing that, the emergency tones went off for a medical.
Do you recall what was the report in regard to, what was dispatch in regard to as far as the medical was concerned?
The overhead dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road, outside. Unclear any further information. So when that came on, we had one of the paramedics that morning and one of the firefighters who was a relatively new firefighter. I made the decision to step onto the ambulance to provide an extra set of hands as one of the more senior paramedics in the station at the time.
And correct me if I'm wrong, when you step onto the ambulance,
the overhead dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road, outside. Unclear any. Dispatch came in as a unresponsive male in a snowbank at 34 Fairview Road, outside.
An unresponsive male. This is like officer down, man. That is so disrespectful. How do the O'Keefes listen to this shit and be like, this is how you did my fucking brother, my son? You know, like who,
if anyone, or what, if any, other sort of vehicles were dispatched on this call as well?
The initial dispatch was Canton Engine 3 and Canton Ambulance 1. Due to the severity of the call, depending on how it comes in, the shift commander, which is car 5, he will usually respond to any significant incident. So he also added himself to the call, just as a senior officer with us. So the final dispatch, I believe, was car 5, engine 3, and ambulance 1.
You know who was on engine 3 and who was in car 5?
Car 5 was Captain Robery. Engine 3 was Lieutenant Greg Woodbury, firefighter Frank Walsh, and firefighter Katie McLaughlin.
As far as the ambulance 1 that you were in, obviously there's somebody driving and there's somebody in the front passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so who was driving and who was in the front passenger seat?
I don't want to speak out of turn. I honestly can't tell you who was driving. I was in the back. I was in the back patient compartment of the ambulance, just because there's only 2 seats up front. So I hopped in the back.
Okay. And so when you're in the back of the ambulance and you're going to the call, what is it that you're doing in sort of preparation? Where was it in relation to the roadway?
I estimated it about where the sidewalk met the front lawn of that residence. That would be my best estimation.
Alan Jackson needs to use that right there. Somebody get that to him. Where the sidewalk meets the lawn. There is no fucking sidewalk, y'all. You understand that? But the way that this whole little area was plowed, it could make it look that way. There is no sidewalk, man.
You have any estimate as far as footage or anything like that?
I would say about 6-8 feet.
6-8 feet from from the street.
Perhaps.
This is wild.
Correct.
And when you get to the ambulance, what, if anything, did you note as far as what, if any, difference was there in the lighting in the back of the ambulance versus on the front lawn?
Lighting was significantly better. All of our ambulances have fluorescent lighting in the ceiling of the ambulance. So those were on, and we were able to see that there was some more injuries once we were able to get him out of his winter clothing.
Right there.
And so to that point, when you sort of
and others were removing clothing, I honestly couldn't tell you the number of articles of clothing, but I believe a winter jacket and a sweatshirt were removed, and then eventually he was all the clothing was removed, and that's
anyone else from your apartment is in the back of the ambulance.
You guys, a winter jacket was removed. Use it. Don't use it against him. Use it as in Karen Rita's scene with this man with no winter jacket all night. all night, every video that we have. It's because then this man was given a winter jacket by somebody. You understand? Which was outside the presence of Karen Reed. Karen Reed didn't have a winter jacket to supply him with. What the fuck? That's how you play that. That's just all day, every day. You recall this man to talk about these things because they're all seeing these videos. The jurors are visual people. You're going to be they're showing them Karen Reed with John O'Keefe at the Waterfall Bar, at McCarthy's. Recall him and say, here, have you ever seen these videos before? No. Okay. Or yes, I did. Or no. Okay, you didn't. But you said that John O'Keefe had a jacket on, right? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Did the jacket look big? Was it a woman's jacket? Was it a men's jacket? I mean, John O'Keefe does not have a jacket on. Don't say that he's wrong. Make him right. Make him right. Make him right and show that was not with John with a jacket. Somebody put a jacket on him, and then talk about Matt McCabe. Oh, you came outside because you didn't have your jacket, right? But then you go inside because you're trying to find your jacket. But then you realize that you put it on John, right? Fuck with these jurors the same way that the Commonwealth is trying to fuck with the jurors. It's fuck.
And what, if anything, are they doing that?
What, if anything?
So at that point, I had myself and Nat Kelly, EMT Kelly. He was kind of with me for the head. One of the, for lack of a better term, easier operations of a cardiac arrest is ventilation. So Matt Kelly was assisting me with ventilations, is just squeezing the BVM to provide ventilation. The lead paramedic for the cardiac arrest was Anthony Flamati. He was running everything else. He was running the application of the cardiac monitor. He was monitoring the status of medications being administered. He was assisted with that by Katie McLaughlin, Lieutenant Woodbury, and Firefighter Walsh.
And at some point, Firefighter Flamati, excuse me, at this point that you're in the back of the ambulance, you don't have any sort of demographic information in regard to your patient, correct?
Correct.
So what, if anything, did Firefighter Flamati ask anybody else to do in regard to obtain?
I believe he asked Firefighter McLaughlin to exit the ambulance and gather some information from the bystanders in terms of name, date of birth, any significant medical history or medications, just so we could further treat the patient.
And to the best of your knowledge, Firefighter McLaughlin leaves the ambulance to do that, is that correct?
Correct.
But you weren't present for any of that, correct?
No.
Okay, so he was in the back. Wait, hold on.
Any significant medical history or medications, just so we could further treat the patient.
And to the best of your knowledge, Firefighter McLaughlin leaves the ambulance to do that, is that correct?
Correct.
But you weren't present for any of that, correct?
No.
Lally set that up right there to then have
to the hospital.
So the transport in the back in the patient compartment was myself, Firefighter Kelly, and Firefighter Flamati, with Firefighter McLaughlin driving ambulance 1. We approached this individual the exact same way. Is automatically went directly to cardiac. Make sure.
I guess what I'm asking is your attention is focused on some of those details for sure.
Correct.
And that's how you remember that big heavy coat that he was wearing, correct?
I remember he was appropriately dressed, correct.
Okay. And it was only then, after you removed this big heavy winter coat, that you could assess that his hands were stiff and cold.
We noted the hands, but it
examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Alan Jackson then says, well, you would remember these things just like you remembered that he was wearing a jacket, right? And so what Alan Jackson does is he basically is discrediting him. He's saying that you're not remembering shit, right? But I think he should change that approach with this witness. He's trying to discredit him and saying, well, your fucking report and your memory is about as accurate as John O'Keefe was having a fucking winter jacket on, right? But here, if you play it the right way, your client is with John O'Keefe without a jacket. Somebody gave him a jacket after your client left, putting him in the hands of some other motherfuckers. That's how you play the fucking game, though. You understand? Because I do think that somebody gave that man a jacket. I do 100% think that there was a jacket on that man by the end of the night, because I think that they put a jacket on him. And I think that it's imperative to show your client with John all night with no jacket. And then here, okay, they gave John O'Keefe a jacket because, oh, wait, he doesn't have whoever. I don't care. It doesn't matter who gave it to him or why they gave it to him. It matters that this medic, who is going to be believed by the jury, okay, let them believe him. My client is with John O'Keefe all night with no jacket. There was no jacket in the car. You see him walk out to the vehicle when he meets with his friend to leave for the night of drinking. He leaves, wears his jacket. He has his hat on. He goes to his vehicle. He locks it up. He gets in the car. He doesn't have a jacket. My client is with John O'Keefe with no jacket. Then they find John O'Keefe with a jacket. How could my client have hit him, left him to die with a jacket on if he didn't have one on, y'all? Do not twist this man's words. Use this man's words for what they are, just like every 12 other witnesses before him. They're going to talk about the fact that John O'Keefe was not on the lawn and he was not in the house. Perfect. We want them to believe that, because then the Commonwealth has a victim that is unaccounted for from 12:26 a.m. until 6:04 a.m. This is crucial. Clearly, the way that she was represented in trial 1, with showing that these fucking shitbags are exactly what they are, is shitbags, right? The jury is having a hard time following all of this when you have 3-hour cross-examinations of all of these people, which all of us who were like enamored in this case, we wanted fucking Jennifer McCabe taken out like the trash. We wanted all of this stuff. But when you do all of this stuff, you lose the jury because they don't know what we know. These are people coming in supposedly not knowing this case from Adam. And then when you listen to Turtle Boy's interviews with these jurors, they thought that fucking the ARCA guys came from Turtle Boy. I mean, what? This is absurd. This is nuts. Reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. Perfect. The jacket shows that someone was interacting with John after Karen left. It's exactly what it shows. These jurors aren't going to go back to the liberating room. It's going to be hard for them. You're going to talk about the frame job after the fact. Okay? After the fact. But me personally, let's prove the frame job in civil court. Okay? Let's prove it in civil court. Let all of the Commonwealth witnesses be credible, because they all prove that John O'Keefe wasn't on the lawn when he needs to be there in order for Karen Reed to be guilty. John O'Keefe has to be on the lawn at 12:26 if Karen Reed did it. No way around it. And he's not there. Why are it's that simple? It's that simple, man. Now, I want to show you guys one last video. These videos. I got another one for you. There we go.
There was no tent protecting the front lawn, correct?
Correct.
No crime scene tape stapled anywhere or taped anywhere, correct?
Correct.
Nobody appeared to be standing guard over the front yard, correct?
Correct.
You didn't see any shard of glass, right?
No, I did not.
You didn't see 45 pieces of tail light strewn about the lawn, correct?
Correct.
In fact, you didn't see any pieces of tail light, correct?
I don't recall seeing anything.
And
There you go.
Suspect that 34 Fairview was a crime scene, correct?
Objection.
There was nothing that prevented you from walking all over that front lawn, correct?
Correct.
It was still snowing out?
Yes.
Brian Albert, when you approached the house, he opened the door, correct?
I approached the car, not the house.
Right there. Right there. What car did you approach? Which one of those cars was Brian Albert Jr.'s? There is not enough vehicles in that motherfucking driveway. And if nobody brings this up in fucking the second trial, shame on them. She approached the car. Which car? Where was the car parked? Here's a picture of it. Which one is Brian Jr.'s? Just curious.
Okay. You approached, whose car was it?
My nephew Brian's.
Brian's?
In the driveway. Yes.
All right.
Show a picture of that shit.
And we went to the waterfall, and I believe my daughter and her boyfriend Tristan were already inside at a table.
You're wrong.
When your sister Julie came to pick you up the house, in addition to yourself and your son Brian Jr., with anyone else?
Chris said Tristan arrived later.
I believe two girlfriends may have already had come, and they were just sitting in the kitchen when I left.
And so you go out to the waterfall. When you get to the waterfall, where within the establishment did you go?
We came in, walked in. I believe to the left there was just some small tables, and I think Caitlin and Tristan were already sitting there. So we sat down at the table, and we ordered food, and just hung out for a little bit. Had food.
I went to my sister-in-law Nicole's house to pick her up.
And you know the address where your sister-in-law and your brother-in-law live?
34 Fairview, where they lived, 34 Fairview Road. I know my niece Caitlin was in there, my nephew Brian. I don't recall. I don't recall who else was in there.
Your sister-in-law Nicole was
Boom.
Yep.
This means that Caitlin had a vehicle there, y'all. Boom. This is what I'm talking about. This is that Cherokee that Higgins fucks up with. And nobody, if they ever drive a fucking Wrangler, would ever say, oh, I was driving the Cherokee. If you don't have a Cherokee, motherfucker, you would never say that. Right here, Nicole and a home tits girl. I believe Julie's telling the truth. I believe that her sister Nicole's lying. But this is really, really important. If Caitlin's there right? Like, I know she is. Her vehicle would have been there, right? And because she's like, I went there and I picked up my sister and my niece, Caitlin. Brian, Jr. didn't end up going out that night, but it was his birthday. That was what we were going out for, but whatever. And so if Caitlin is at the house, because Nicole just testified saying that, Caitlin and Tristan were already there. Okay. Caitlin and Tristan were already there. Wait a second. No. Your sister's saying that she picked up you and Caitlin, right? And that Tristan comes a little bit later. And this is important because it's like, what vehicle is at the house, because what vehicle brought Caitlin there, it's just amazing. It's so fucking awesome.
She was ready to leave. Yep.
And when you left, I'm using sort of you in the plural. So you drove, is that correct?
I drove. Yep.
I drove.
And who, if anyone, went along with you in your car?
Nicole, my sister-in-law, and Caitlin, my niece. And
Boom.
Brian did not end up coming with us.
I mean, there wasn't a hesitation in that. Caitlin and my sister came in that car.
While you were there, as far as during sort of the meal portion of it, was there anyone else that joined you?
I know my niece's boyfriend, Tristan Morris, came. I don't remember exactly when it was during that, but I know he was there. And then during the meal part, I don't think during the meal part anyone else. I don't think.
So you recall, as far as the meal part was concerned, it's you, your sister-in-law Nicole, your niece Caitlin, and her boyfriend Tristan.
Correct.
And Ms. Morris, did he stay for any extended period of time, or when was it that he left?
I know he stayed for a little bit, but I honestly can't remember what time exactly he left.
Why all the lies? This one is about Tristan Morris. Why the...
It's about that car. It's about that car. Girls rode together, just met them there. Hug. Get to Canton. She drove her own vehicle, motherfuckers. And that's why I think it's important, because of what Higgins says. Then, because Tristan's like, I then drove to pick up Caitlin. So I was in the Cherokee to go pick up Caitlin, right? And so here, I think they were afraid that the Cherokee was going to be on camera. But it's all lies. It's all fucking lies, man. It's all lies. Man, these liars. Yeah, thank you. This is why I want to talk about the damn driveway. If Tristan comes to pick her up, but he says he went in what car to go pick her up, like, it's all lies, y'all. It is all lies. But you have to break this down to show to the jury just specific little things that show that, okay, here's the driveway the next morning. There should be all these cars there, and they're just not. And where are they? And it's really, really important. So with that said, I will see you guys on the flip side. Happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you.
We are not afraid of whatever evidence is unearthed from whatever source, because for 15 months, every stitch of evidence has been consistent with my client's innocence.